right outside of the Northlook at the breaking of the aura, and a more solid darkness kind of setting in here as you all enter through the gate and you are inside of Bryn Shander. Again, it's basically that northeastern area right next to the Northlook.
That's been a bit of a long day. If I might suggest we head to the Northlook and perhaps get something to eat. Maybe see if we can learn anything and get some rooms for the night.
I'm transformed into Carveth already, like mocking his speech, like with my mouth, but making no noise.
So you all can make your way towards the Northlook. As you get closer and closer, you start to hear some of the music being played within. As you get up to the actual hall itself, it has double doors. You see it's a little bit older of a construction than everything else that you would have seen. You can kind of gather pretty quickly that Targos is a newer city than Bryn Shander, though perhaps like still in the general age range. But this is pretty clearly, as you delve through this city, one of the more original constructions, as it had that ideal position of being able to see the tundra all around it and basically giving it that more protective of a stature. And maybe Targos was one of the ones to follow, as it had a lot of fishing potential for feeding everybody as the cities grew. So you all can head into the tavern itself. As you walk through the double doors, you see before you one of the largest taverns that you'll kind of see in this area. It is filled with people. There's probably a solid 25, 30 people or more inside of this tavern at any given point. It has a large hearth to the northwest of you all. There's two barkeeps behind the actual bar, as well as you can see that there are stairs up to the north that lead off to an area that is with shut doors, kind of sealing it off.
Okay, are we all in the bar already, or do we need to put our tokens in?
It's not really any reason that you guys would need tokens unless you are planning on starting a fight, and that can only go positively.
Well, can I go up to the barkeeper and ask for some milk?
He's gonna laugh in your face.
I am in Carveth's form too.
He's still laughing in your face.
How can I word? Can I use persuasion?
What are you gonna say?
I say I'll buy one beer for my friend Luther over here if you slide some milk on over to the side for me.
You can make a persuasion at disadvantage. He looks to you and he'll kind of cock his head. You can buy one beer for your friend, and we could probably find a goat to be milking, but it'll be expensive for you.
Skeeter kind of raises his head and he says, "Any price is fine."
3 gold.
Skeeter grabs his head kind of like frantically. He's like, "Jesus, man!" But I'll pay it. I'll pay it.
So when he collects the 3 gold from you, he will set a ale up for Luther, and he will look to the other bartender, and he's going to say to them, head off to the stables, see if they have any goats that you might be able to milk for us. And tell them we can pay 3 silver for the milk.
All right. One second. What's the trick to the managing the currency? Like, how do I go back into that menu?
Just under your inventory. Actually, I feel like you can actually see the gold on any of them, but at very least under inventory, You can see the gold in the top right.
Yeah, it's just currency.
Yep. Just add, change the number to 3, and then you select subtract. I think it's, you just change gold to 3 and then subtract it.
So Carvath he'll head towards the bar, maybe catching like the tail end of this, and kind of just shaking his head and wondering a little about the milk. He'll just he'll order an ale for himself.
Byron approaches the bartender. He asks him, "My good friend, I want a ale too, but I want to see if you have rooms here for us to rent to spend the night."
We certainly have a place that you can stay. It'll be 5 silver apiece for your ales.
How much is for the rooms, my friend?
If you'd like to stay in our barracks, we can set you up for a silver apiece. If you'd like to stay in rooms for 4, we can put you up in the rooms at 5 silver apiece.
I think we can agree. We want to stay in the rooms. In the room. Everyone agree? A room. We can split
Was
the
it
room. It's
Yeah, I'll get one.
5 silver for each one to stay in our room. For 4.
and then it was 5 silver for the barracks too, right?
1.
Well, 5 silver a piece, but
No, it's 1 silver for the barracks, 5 silver
Got it.
for a room. If
I
you
paid
guys
for
get
a room.
Each pay 5 silver to stay in our room together, or we pay 1 silver each to stay in the barracks. The
Me
barrack.
and Carbath can share a room.
We
well, I think
wow.
we can all share. I guess we'll all share a room, right?
Yes.
I already paid anyway.
if all 4 of you are going to stay in a room, he can set you up in the same room.
Yeah. So I'll pay 15 silver. 20 silver for the plus the room plus the ale.
If Carvath wants to stay in his own room, I fully
Of
understand.
Of course.
That's me too, Justin, though.
Okay, sure. I didn't mean.
Mauricio, it's not to you. I'm saying this to Justin.
He'll stay with the others, but as he's when the bartender quotes the price for the ale, Carvath's gonna kind of raise an eyebrow a bit and just be like, seems a bit steep.
It's almost like the person who makes the prices creates them arbitrarily and doesn't pay attention to how much he charges.
Okay, this might have been more meta because I was just thinking. I think in the last one there were like the rumors about the ale shipment, so I wasn't sure if that's what That's kind of
It still
what I was
exists.
getting at.
I really don't pay attention to how much I quote for prices of anything. If you guys ever want to know how much stuff charges, it's inside of the player's handbook. But to me, this is the least entertaining part of the game. I do not care. I do not check to see that you guys are spending money. As far as I'm concerned, if I ever think you have too much money, I give you less money. If I ever think you have too little money, I give you more money. So I don't know why I should care about how much I charge you.
So I need more money. I'm joking.
Yeah,
No,
I just
I
wasn't
said
sure if
if
it was.
I ever care about how much money you have. I definitely have 0 fucks for how much you guys think you need money.
I know. That's why I'm joking.
Yeah, so Carvath he'll hand over he'll take his ale and he'll start maybe looking around for an empty table.
But in general, yes, I was trying to. I think this is much higher than what you were charged in Targos. But that is correct for Carvath to recognize that this price is higher. It is, one, because you're in a large city, and the largest city, And two, it is because yes, there is an ale shortage, so you guys can pick up on that. Like, as far as in character goes, I was shooting for. I feel like last week I charged you 5 silver for a glass, and it was or 5 copper for a glass, and this was 5 silver.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of what I was. He was kind of thinking when he said that.
But again,
he
I
wouldn't.
also make all that shit up arbitrarily. It's going off of the top of my head.
Yep. Understood.
Luther, kind of. I mean, certainly the 3 gold for the milk was something that really caused his eyes to shoot up, and then I think he probably noticed that the other prices were more than he'd expected, and he says something like he toasts Skeeter for buying him his ale, and says, "Well, we're living quite high on the hog after that blizzard." Um, Once he has his ale, I think instead of following Carvath to an empty table, if there are people sitting at the bar, he'll stay at the bar. Otherwise, if there are people near the hearth, he might go to the hearth to warm himself. He's more interested in sort of being within earshot of people. Um, and he'll smile and raise his glass to anyone who gives him a glance.
Yeah, so there's 3 people at the bar, so you can certainly find people at the bar to hang out next to. There's tables closer to the actual hearth itself. This is one of the warmest locations that you've ever come to, and you can probably pretty quickly gather that between the stone floors and the actual radiant heating of the stone hearth, this actual location keeps that fire going regularly, and it keeps everything quite a bit warmer than most of the other locations you'll ever really visit. Very clearly showing a little bit more of the value that Bryn Shander actually has to offer. By being a big town, by being a big tavern, they have more funds to quite literally burn through.
So, question: is there out of those 3 people, is there one that is like a sexy young barkeep?
I am not role playing any sort of you romancing a character. So, sure, there can be a sexy barkeep, but it is not one of the people sitting at the bar. I have no interest in relationship roleplay, and the least bit, let alone with a guy on the internet.
Nothing like that.
Everywhere you go, you ask for a sexy young barkeep. We are 4 guys sitting in a room right now. 5 guys sitting in a room right now.
Kind of killing the game, dude, with your DM.
I'm just trying to be straight up for you. Yes, you can find a sexy young barkeep, but what are you going to do? She's not going to be relationship, trying to hit on you, trying to be receptive.
Just forget that. I'll just drink the milk.
This is a war game. As far as I'm concerned, the role play is a thing that happens around the actual adventuring that happens here. So, Luther, if you hang out for an hour and you are simply just listening to things, we'll come back to you when you kind of start to pick up some information from the chatter that's going on around you. It's probably about 20 minutes until the other bartender comes back and has a glass of milk that they will set down. Looking over the Carvass, they are going to walk up to the actual Skeeter and hand him the milk. What's everyone else doing as you guys relax inside of the Northlook?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, Carvath essentially just he's going to nurse his ale. Once he finds a table and kind of just similar to what Luther's doing at the bar, he's just going to kind of like sit back, listen to kind of like the chatter, see if you can pick anything up. Just kind of sitting, trying to be fairly inconspicuous.
Byron is going to sit by Luther's side, uh, uh, drink his ale, and speaks very lowly to Luther. Luther, do you think I should be less loud? Do you think I am overbearing?
Well, I don't think that we have to start by every relationship by telling our lives story. As I said, these are hard people in hard times, and I think we have to expect to. We have to expect that some of these people will not agree with us in every aspect of uh, our pursuit of the gods. They may follow different gods. They may have different values. We needn't put. I let's listen more than talk.
Maybe I delude myself thinking they will receive us, thinking that we'll bring the light back to them. Maybe they don't know better. Maybe I don't know better.
We will do that with our actions.
You you are right. Actually, you are always right, Luther. I don't know why I don't listen more. I'm gonna be here drinking my ale. You think for both of us now, okay?
Luther throws his arm around Byron and for old time's sake, and again tries to catch a friendly eye of the a person at the bar and strike up a conversation.
What are you trying to ask the person at the bar?
Oh, it'd be something very much along the lines of, oh, it's nice to be in a warm bar after a cold night on the trail. We just came in from Targos and we're caught in that storm. Just that sort of thing, trying to strike up just a nondescript conversation, but get a conversation going. If it gets to the point of trying to go further than that, it would be something along the lines of we're looking for work.
So just to be clear on things, like you guys can listen in taverns and do nothing basically, but kind of listen to things and pick up clues. Or you guys can actually role play and interact with the NPCs. But once you're interacting with them, you have to interact with them. So if you're going to speak to an NPC, he'll reply to you, and he'll kind of look at you a little bit skeptically and kind of look you up and down. Venturing over from Targos, and you walked through the blizzard. Isn't that dangerous? Did you not fear for your life?
Oh, indeed, it was something to get through, but we have a familiarity with the elements, and yes, it was dangerous, but well, to be honest, we had no choice. The people of Targos didn't seem very welcoming.
You should be weary with such things, traveling in the blizzard. People who live in Icewind Dale know that the best course is always to stop in a blizzard. Do not lose your friends, or death will take them.
Wise advice, wise advice.
Our Lady Oral is always kind enough to take those who are left alone in the tundra.
Our Lady Oral. So, do most of the people of Bryn Shander follow Oral then?
Most is a difficult conversation to hold. Many people across all of these lands know that our best hopes lie in the worshipping of the Frost Maiden.
She can be cruel, though. She followers.
I lost you after cruel, and then kind of picked up followers.
She demands a price, does she not, from her followers?
Do all gods not take their pound of flesh? Oral at least is straightforward about what she asks of us.
And tell me, because we are new to this land, tell me of that straightforward price. It has something to do with the passing of the moon. Is that right?
Oh, you mean us sacrificing humanoids? Ah, that is something that we do, hoping to please Oral. We make sure that she has plenty to appreciate from Bryn Shander.
And is criminals that you
Is it, what was that?
Is it criminals or that you sacrifice to her, or is there another means of selection?
Most everybody who lives in Icewind Dale is criminals, so probably yes. But no, there is a lottery, and by chance, if you are selected, whether you wish to please the lady or not, you will die on the moon.
On the dark of the moon, as I understand it.
Indeed, yes, the new moon.
Luther nods.
She is the lady of the night, and we try to worship her at her best. When things are darkest, when we are most alone, that is when Aurora is closest to us.
And tell me, friend, is there any work for in Bryn Shander for men such as us, adventurers and uh, arms for
Mercenary.
hire?
Roll a persuasion. He looks over at the bartender. Sex. These folk fancy themselves adventurers. And then he'll look back to you. You know, I actually work at the... I have the name of this. At the Black Iron Blades, and just this evening we had some dwarves. The Battlehammer clan. They were bringing in a shipment of ore for us, and they seem to have been attacked. You may still be able to find Cairn there, and perhaps he can point you towards the dwarves themselves. Scramsax, have you seen any dwarves come in here this eve? You're actually in luck, fellow, yes. If you're looking for the dwarves, I believe... And he kind of like looks around the tavern a little bit, and he doesn't see them at first, but he is going to just kind of pop the other bartender on the shoulder. Go check to see if you can find Thruna in the upper levels. See if she's available at present. There may be some folk here who are willing to go after her. And he'll just kind of like look towards the other gentleman, and not gentleman, towards the other man, and he's just gonna kind of say, their sled. But the other bartender will head off to that northern portion of the room. You can see as the doors open for a moment that there are some more tables in that area. Predominantly, you would just pick up that there seems to be just kind of like a quieter area. You'd see two long tables as the doors themselves open. And not long afterwards, the bartender will return, and a single dwarf following behind, about 4.5 feet tall, more or less still wearing outer gear, as if they were in the frigid cold. And the closer they get to you, you will see she's actually has frostbite on much of her face. And she will kind of walk up to the barkeep. He'll nod his head towards the other guy, and then the other guy is going to kind of pat her on the back and bring her kind of between the two of you at the bar. And he'll look back to you. I forgot to get your name, friend. What is your...
I am Luther, and this is my companion Byron. And is if Skeeter's near us, I try to catch the eye of both Skeeter and Carvath, and try to sort of indicate that they should come over.
Oh no, I'm the real Carvath.
Yeah, I think once like he's Carvath saw sort of the conversation going on, the bartender leaving, starting to come back, he would get curious and he would walk over to join the others at the bar.
That's unfortunate. So yeah, the four of you can be there. He will look over everyone, and he'll say to the dwarf, "They just told me their names, and that are their names. Hruna, this is some adventurers. They seemed interested in trying to find something to be hired for." And Hruna will kind of look you all over. You see that like the tip of her nose is a little bit blackened from frostbite. Her right ear is almost entirely blackened from frostbite. And other than that, at first, that's kind of what she'll kind of pick up as she's speaking with you all. But she'll take a few moments to kind of look you over. Think, we were assaulted by a yeti this evening, and it killed the leader of our band, Ubak. 3 of us were able to make it away, but we had to leave our sled filled with ore about halfway back from Kelvin's Cairn. If you are interested, we can certainly pay you well to go into the tundra and reclaim the ore for us and bring it back. But me and my friends, and she's going to remove the mitten from her left hand, where she has 3 fingers that are already cut off and kind of bandaged. Me and my fellows have suffered much frostbite in the attack, and none of us are well enough that we can venture again into the tundra.
May I tend to your wounds? I have some knowledge of such things.
You can bring me my fingers back?
No, but I can perhaps help the frostbite on your nose and other such minor injuries.
You see as the smile from her face kind of breaks away. You are more than welcome to help what you can. What is lost is what is most important.
I throw cure wounds on her.
So she looks a little bit healthier. None of the frostbite seems cured at all. As far as I'm concerned, necrosis is dead and gone. Like those are all but removed items you need effectively extremely high level magic to fix those issues.
I ask if any of her friends would similarly be, or if any of her friends have what would you say, acute injuries or something that it might be more effective on.
We all suffered the same issues. The cold bites at you, and our journey was long. While your magic can help, we all have lost appendages. For oral exacts a cost on everyone who lives here.
A hard.
And you're here as about 4 people around you actually kind of butt into the conversation with an oral be praised. And then the whole tavern rolls over as you guys gain a sense that most of the people in this tavern worship Oral.
Byron just look around and looks at Luther, only slowly shaking his head. Only that's only Luther notices.
Roll a sleight of hand. You can't just say only Luther notices.
It's because it's something that only his friend would understand. They are friends. But okay,
Actually, realistically, that's a stealth check. It doesn't have to impose disadvantage if your armor does so, but
without it, okay.
so you can probably pretty successfully nod to Luther, whatever that message was.
It's not good. Just realizing that the city is full of cultists. So after that, Byron says we can try to retrieve your ore, no doubt. We probably need not only the direction you came from. You probably exactly where exactly do you think you left behind?
You need only have to follow the way towards Kelvin Cairn, and eventually you should be able to find it in the Valley of the Dwarves.
Understood. Do you think we need any special equipment to travel to that direction?
Traveling on the tundra, you will be better off if you purchase yourselves some snowshoes. Your way will be quite difficult if you intend to walk in boots.
It's a sound advice. Now, since we are agreeing with this, right, Luther?
Well, Luther looks at the Carvaths and looks at the Carvaths questioningly.
So the actual Carvath, I kind of gonna get tired of saying that, but he's going to look towards the dwarf, and he's going to ask, is it likely or possible that anyone else might have stumbled across this? Is this a commonly traveled area that you left it in?
Well, there was a Yeti there, so Hopefully not the Yeti.
You
So can
said
I
it
ask
was a.
again? Sorry to interrupt.
Nope, you go.
Can I ask a question about the effect that I have? This is why I was asking if there was a bar I should see on Barkeep, so I was gonna transform into her image. But so I see that there's only like this I'm guessing the barkeep we're talking to is an old man. Can I drop the Harbath form and take the old man barkeep's form?
Most certainly. In the middle of the bar?
Yeah.
So if Carvath can sense that he's doing this and like detect kind of his thoughts that he's going to be changing, he would kind of start backing away just a little bit. Not sure how the tavern full of people will react.
It's not going to go well for long. What is your goal in becoming the bartender? In front of the bartender?
I was hoping that I could maybe roll persuasion and crack a funny joke in his like mimicking his voice. Make it all right. I don't know.
Go for it. You can certainly try.
Nice.
What are you saying? Got nothing there. I feel like you pressed the button and then we lost you.
Sorry, I was chomping. Trying to think of what the barkeep would have said as a joke and like making fun of it in his voice. I pretend to do his voice. Steel talons, blah blah blah. I don't know if he said that. I think he said steel talons somewhere.
So what is everybody else doing as Skeeter does this?
Yeah, so Carvath is just kind of sort of backing away kind of towards the entrance. Trying not to like, kind of like bump into a table as he's backing away.
Luther takes Byron by the hand and or by the arm and just pulls him away from the bar and Skeeter.
Scramsax is going to look over to you, Skeeter. Don't talk like that. What's the meaning of this? What do you intend to do with my face?
To make you legendary, famous.
I've lived my legend. I'm already famous.
Don't you want the bards in here to sing songs about you? Women talk
Songs
about
are
you?
already sung about me.
I mean, just how? Don't you want more than a life to being the barkeeper?
I've lived my life. This is me settling down. Take my face off your head. What do you really look like?
I drop the form into basic Skeeter form, like blushing, and I kneel down.
You might be weary about using such magics in a land where we take pleasure in sacrificing the life of others.
Noted, and I run away.
What's everyone else doing?
Byron grabs Skeeter arm. He asks him, What were you doing, my friend? What
Are we
trying?
outside the bar yet?
If you want to try to grab his arm, you've got to do a dexterity check. When he ran away, he's outside of this bar.
The charity. Okay.
Yep, contested dexterities right here.
Oh, I'm gonna meet.
Do I need to roll dexterity?
Never
Yep,
mind.
contested. We need a
I-
dexterity from Skeeter as well.
Probably I'm gonna fail. Yeah.
Yeah, he's long gone. He is outside of the tavern.
So Byron tries to grab him. He passes running. And then he looks at Luther. What's going on here? Why this keep happening?
So, as Skeeter is running out, Carvath's going to sort of seems like the bartender is not, had too bad of a reaction. He's going to try and look around the tavern and see if anyone seems to be. I mean, obviously, I would think like most people are looking, but like if anyone seems to be, have almost like too much attention on Skeeter as he's like running out or as he changed back into his natural form.
Roll a perception.
Can I roll? Never mind.
9 people in the tavern seem to be paying attention to what had just gone on there, and the entire tavern, you just get a feeling right now, Carvath, everybody is talking about this little happening.
I told that barkeep to make him famous.
Actually, you make us famous.
You made us famous.
Yeah, I don't think you make us famous. You make us infamous.
But yeah, what is it? Carvath and Byron are the only 2 in there. Did Luther leave as well?
I think Luther is
Yeah,
beside
yeah,
me.
No, well, Luther is left after Skeeter left. Luther went out too.
That's what I was assuming.
Okay, so Byron is going to follow Luther to talk to him.
What is the meaning of this? You, the bartender, will ask Carvath. Carvath, Justin?
Yeah, sorry.
Where?
So Carvath will. So now the other 3 have all left, right?
Yep, you're basically in there alone right now.
So Carvath will kind of like glance back towards the exit, then back towards the bartender, and he'll kind of just like give like a helpless shrug, and I think that one might be a bit touched in the head. I apologize for any unpleasantness. I was really just hoping for a warm place to spend the night, but
You should warn your friends about the use of magic in the towns. Many people are skeptical about magic users. If they intend to live long, it would behoove you to convince them not to use their magic.
as am I. I will certainly pass on your warning and thank you. And he's going to, if I might, perhaps just one more ale for the road, and he's going to hand over twice the cost, so 10 silvers, kind of like I guess kind of like a tip. He's not going to ask the bartender to, kind of forget about what he saw, but that's kind of his intention by handing over twice the cost, and then he'll just drink the ale. The bartender brings it to him, he'll drink it real quickly, and then he'll head out to join the others. He'll kind of try and look like he's leaving casually, not rushing out.
I feel like do a performance. Yeah, I feel like everybody's gonna read on you, like the nervousness that sits on your person, and I think you get the feeling that it's rightly earned. This is not a safe place for you to be right now.
Yeah. Like he's kind of like hurrying out, but trying to look like he's not hurrying, like kind of that like quick walk, you do. So
What are the three outside doing?
Byron approaches Luther. He says, "Things really are not working up to us today. All the last days, Luther. I don't know what we are doing that our gods are not helping. Maybe our will is very strong here, huh?"
Well, I thought we came to this land to do deeds, not to get into bar fights. I'm not interested in uh, getting into bar fights. If that's what our party is, then perhaps we should split up.
I agree. I didn't come here to. I didn't come to the Ice Wind to the north to start fights. I came here to try to help people, to try to find injustice and bring some light to these people. Those who want, of course. Those who prefer this, the darkness can have it. I thought we had something interesting to deal with the lady dwarf and her our shipment. But I don't know if we can help her inside and ask her for more details.
No, I maybe we can go to the Black Iron Blades and purchase some snowshoes, and maybe we can return here to sleep. But I don't think we should go back in right now.
Yeah, I think we should go to merchants and buy these snowshoes. I think it's the best solution now.
Let's wait for our friend Carvath.
I hope he get out. I hope he get out. I hope they don't kill him. Skeeter. Are you read near Byron and Luther?
Yeah, I was behind y'all.
Byron turns around. He asks you, "Have you had your fun, or are you going to fight the market in the market too?"
For a good deal.
Please, can I ask you to stop shape shifting on the in the front of people? They are not used to do that. If you keep scaring people, how are you going to do anything in these people? These people are superstitious. They're not used to do this. Can you stop doing that, please? I'm asking you as a friend.
Skeeter he puts his head down and he's a mutant, you know.
So, on a side note, if that means that it's time for that character to become an NPC, do you have another character in mind?
I probably wouldn't just play in your campaign.
If everywhere that you go, you were going to do something to get the party kicked out, at some point that character is going to become an NPC.
I don't like the way you DM. I think I'm just gonna leave.
Can't say I'm too sorry to see that.
Thank God.
Yeah, I mean, okay, great.
Just so you guys know, Justin, people will try to kill you if you change form in front of them. That form, that secret, quite literally is, if people catch on to the fact that you were a doppelganger, they will try to kill you. Doing that in front of the bar, I was about to TPPK you all, and I probably could have done it with the bartender alone.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of figure that's the kind of thing that anybody is going. It doesn't matter where you go. Like, people don't like shapeshifters.
Yeah,
It's not a good thing to be.
And he's doing it doing it to kind of like, I don't know, get his rocks off. But
yeah. Even I that don't play D&D for so long know that shapeshifting is not a desirable race anywhere. So he kept throwing this in the face of in a place that people don't like, even like any common race. So imagine he doing this.
That's the message from my book that coincides to the secret that you guys got. Like, I have messages that are the DM side of the card that you pulled. That's the message that I just posted to Order of the Storm. That's why I say, like, he's a veteran. I think veterans are like CR4 or something like that. They're pretty high CR characters because he's an adventurer. And he became Scramsex directly in front of him. That was certainly cause to basically turn that into a TPPK. But yeah, that was again kind of the second time he was in front of people. He immediately essentially trolled the group out of that tavern. So as far as I am concerned, when Carvax leaves that tavern, the dwarves are going to run out after you with the actual person who Luther met at the tavern. And you'll basically have these four characters who are ushering you all away, and they'll kind of say to you all, oh, that place will not be safe for you tonight. They seem ready to create a pyre to sacrifice you all to Oral. Perhaps it would be best. It will not be nice, but we can take you to the Black Iron Blades and at least allow you a place to sleep.
That will be very nice of you. I can only apologize for our companion. He doesn't speak for us. We try to warn him about his behavior. We are not like him. We don't do things like him. We are law-abiding people. We want to help you if you allow us.
yes, your offer is most welcome. Thank you.
So they will walk you all down the main path towards the town center. Eventually, as you guys kind of get to the peak of the hill itself, you will be pointed towards the side where you see a large building. One of the few that doesn't actually have snow on the roof of about half of the building. They will walk you into the larger portion of it, and you'll see that there's a shop set up in the main area. And then on the north side of it, it's almost like walking into a barn as you walk into like a forage area. And you can see that there's kind of like two sides to the shop. One side is everything kind of for sale, and it's just general adventuring gear, as well as some armors and some weapons. And then the actual forge is behind. I think it's late enough that they would be closed, and you would have the gentleman who works here kind of open up the door, and he kind of knocks like as he's opening it and brings you all in, and he's just going to yell out, Cairn, Elza, it's Nolan. I've come back here with some friends and some of the Battlehammers. Elza, Cairn, And as he calls out, eventually you see from some stairs kind of at that like break point in the shop, as two different people walk down from up above. Actually, no, let's just go for one. I think just Garn at this point. And he'll walk down, and you can tell he's not like asleep. He's not waking up, but he is on like that. I'm relaxing. What the fuck's bothering me? Kind of level. And he'll come downstairs and kind of look over things, and he will welcome you all, and he'll just say to you all, "Welcome to the Black Iron Blades. Is there anything that I might be able to make for you, or that you need?" And you're going to hear from up above. I've got a name for hers too, as well. I thought. Never mind. It is just the Black Iron Blade.
So to his question, I guess Carvath will ask whether snowshoes is something he'd be able to provide.
Ella's actually makes snowshoes. Yes, we have some. Nolan, in that corner there should be some sets. And he'll kind of look over all of y'all being pretty traditional human builds. I think we have 6 sets over there, 2 gold apiece.
Wonderful, wonderful. Should we take care of this business in the morning? We don't want to put you up.
I'm sorry, how much?
2 gold per person.
Okay.
It's no bother. My sister and I were just closing up shop, but there's no reason that we cannot take care of you regardless.
Is Hruna, I think was the name of the dwarf I was speaking with in the bar. Is she still with us, or is one of the dwarves who's the hammer dwarves with us?
Yep, you have 3 of those dwarves with you right now. Runa is the one who you had spoken with, and then the other 2 are following behind.
When I think you said it was a sled. Is it a sled that can be pulled by 2 or 3 men, or will we need beasts of burden?
Oh, it's certainly quite heavy, but I believe if needs be, you could push and pull it.
Okay, so the snowshoes I'd like, and then I would also like to buy a dagger.
I just need the snowshoes.
Yeah, I don't know offhand what a dagger costs. If you have them
it's
in
just
front
I was
of you,
just
you can
looking
buy it.
it up. Okay, yeah, so I'll just look at it.
Otherwise,
Pay the
I'm
normal
almost there.
price.
Yep.
2 gold pieces. I got the player's handbook open.
I think I'm gonna have to pass on the dagger then. No, I'm gonna pay for it. Okay.
But I agree. Perhaps try and get some rest tonight, and then head out and see if we can recover this this ore in the morning.
While the dwarves are still there, about how many hours journey would you say it is, or is it days journey?
It usually takes us the better part of a day to travel this far. I would assume you are going to look at between 4 and 7 hours to arrive there.
We had best plan for a night in the wilderness then. Perhaps tents?
I don't think we have the money to buy tents.
Who else has survival?
I don't have.
I think Skeeter was the other one, so just you for now.
You better roll well. I'm
Maybe
joking.
you guys could maybe a single 2-person tent for y'all, and I can rely on survival.
Okay.
Or we could risk it, or we could just head out, or head out pre-dawn and um, just strive to get back.
Yeah, I think we should we have a great idea. We can leave a few hours, a couple hours before I sunrise, as you say, probably before the day, because we don't have sun, of course. But then we will try to find the war. If things get too complicated, we're probably gonna stay in the wild. We don't know. Yeah, if you want to risk it, we should. But I don't know.
I'd say and get an early start, and we can reassess matters as we get closer.
I agree.
Okay.
So let's get some good night's sleep and get to work. Let's get to Cairn, see if we can find a track to find the war.
Oh, also, would rope be anything that would be available at the forge, or we'd have to go to more of a general goods store to get that?
Oh no, my sister makes all of the general adventuring gear. You can certainly purchase rope from her.
I have rope.
I'm just thinking it'd be good to have us some spare, so Carvath would purchase like another length of 50 feet of rope, the normal amount. But other than that, he's good. So those and the snowshoes.
We have this beautiful silk rope if you are interested. It is quite wonderful.
I think perhaps some hempen rope for now. Perhaps after we recover the ore, I'll reconsider.
See as he loses a little bit of a smile and he reaches for the hempen rope that's kind of hidden well behind all the silk rope. So if you all are all set for the evening, they basically just allow you to kind of bed down in that kind of forage area where there's plenty of warmth from the actual stoneworks of the forge itself. And you're basically just kind of sleeping with the dwarves before Nolan heads off for the night and returns to his own house.
Okay, I think we can take the long rest.
In terms of preparing spells, does anyone have or Carvath, I suppose, do you have any spells that have a flame component to them?
I do, if needs be. I don't know how useful they'll be, but I do have some abilities.
I'm just thinking about a Yeti. I believe they're probably going to be pretty impervious to cold and vulnerable to flame.
That is super meta. Please do not think like that. Have you ever fought
sorry.
a Yeti yet?
No, I mean an abominable snowman. I just nope.
I think you should do a roll for history to know if you know that.
I actually thought I was speaking more about could I create a bonfire or something like that? Like if we get stuck out there, that's kind of what I was thinking more along the lines of.
Yeah, that would make more sense because we don't know exactly what would the strength or weakness of our enemy because we are newcomers in this land. So I think
Yeah, like you guys can plot and plan your own magic. That is perfectly fine. But please do not have the conversations that I'm pretty sure if we're going to fight a Yeti, we need to not have cold spells prepared and we should have fire spells because that's a weakness.
Oh, by the way, I have a spell as a paladin that's bless. I think it's a good spell for us second level, but I have some things that can be used. But I think it's for now. I think it's a good option.
I do too. I have Bane and Bless.
I think only one of us should have bless. So if you
I don't think
prefer,
he cannot prepare it.
Bless is my Bless is always prepared.
I understand. So I can't choose anything else. Let me see.
And like Luther wouldn't and Byron, they wouldn't see Carvath doing any sort of like magical spell preparation like over the course of their rest.
So once you all are all set, you can take your long rest and wake up the next morning.
No time to waste, I suppose.
Indeed. I suppose the east way is the way.
Yeah,
Well, no, the east way I think is to other towns. But is the Cairn is Kelvin's Cairn visible enough for us to take a bearing on?
In general, I think you would have occasional sights of Kelvin Cairn. In particular, most of the time, no, you cannot see for 10 miles. So let's see. For one, I don't think you have a best path out of Bryn Shander. If you go through the north, you have to move east. If you go through the east way, you have to move to the north. So pretty much regardless, you're kind of ducking and weaving around that edge.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, it would make most sense, I think, for us to just take whichever gate's closest to Black Iron Blades and then go from there.
yeah. Let's try to avoid being caught by these fanatics that want to burn us. So let's get out and I think this will people will forget about us soon enough.
What time are you all thinking about leaving?
4 a.m. ish, I think.
Yeah, between 4 or 5 a.m.
Yeah, you guys aren't getting a long rest if you're leaving that early.
What time it would be a long rest? 6? Let's leave at 6 then.
Yeah, I'd like the long rest because I did use one of my slots.
I use Twin Sense, so I need to recuperate that.
So I was essentially thinking like 8 hours from whenever we went to bed, and then
Works for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the earliest you all would have gotten to the Black Iron Blades is probably about 9:30 to like do a little bit of shopping, 10 o'clock to sleep, so 6 a.m. as like a wake up, or rather even waking up at 4, but you can't actually do anything for 2 hours.
yeah, maybe just having like a quick breakfast, getting our gear ready. You know, the sort of maybe having someone, because I don't know, Carvath at least, he wouldn't be real familiar with how to use snowshoes, so maybe take some time before we head out of like learning how they work and stuff, and then, like you said, around 6-ish is when we would actually head out.
If the orcs are up before 6-ish and time for us to head out, I would ask them for any, for a general idea of the path or landmarks that we might keep an eye out for, rather than just be like, well, we're going to walk northeast.
Let's do that.
I think as they describe it for you, they were simply just in the Valley of the Dwarves. When they explain that to you, it's the tundra south of Kelvin's Cairn. There's very little to give you other than that's sort of always been their path from Kelvin's Cairn towards Bryn Shander. It's kind of one of those things, if you get lost, go downhill. And that's kind of the only real suggestion that they have for you. Again, they felt like they were halfway there. And you're just kind of hoping you're able to track it. Essentially, are you all just trying to get up and get out of there as soon as possible? I know you wanted to speak to the dwarves about some stuff, but in general, they don't really have any information to give you, so there's not necessarily anything that's going to take time in that conversation.
Yeah, just no. The earlier the better. I'm concerned about how we're going to end up in the evening.
So essentially, you all can pick up, and you are able to head out around the actual beginning of the aura for the day. And leaving through, which direction do you think you're going, the north or the east?
Well, just looking at the map, it looks like maybe the north is slightly closer to the. I assume that this is the up. Yeah, that's sort of halfway to Kelvin's Cairn, isn't it?
Yep, effectively, yeah.
So maybe the north is a little closer. What do you guys think?
I think around here.
Yeah, like head out the north gate, start north for a bit, and then kind of cut like northeast.
Yeah.
There's not like a road that they were taking. They were going across the tundra on the sled, right? So we kind of don't really have any specific path we're following, right?
No, the only thing we know is that they said the Valley of the Dwarfs. So we have to find a valley.
Right. And I guess my thinking is too, if they were heading for Bryn Shander from Kelvin's Canada, they were probably heading towards the north gate, or that would be my assumption, I guess. So if we go start north from there and then kind of try to essentially reverse engineer what we think their path might be, we might have a better shot of picking up the trail.
I agree. I think we start from the north gate. We start doing the way through the Valley of Dwarfs. Maybe you can find the way there.
So when you are ready to get set, you all effectively walk back out through the north gate, heading off into the roadway, and you can roll a survival as you all prepare your snowshoes and start to hike on the way.
Sorry, is that all of us rolling survival or just
No, technically it's just going to be Larry for all of this.
I have. I can't roll. I know I don't. I'm sorry. I remember, bro. I'm sorry.
So, as you start to head off in the first lights of the aura, you are able to see that there is a massive clearing in the winds as they are clearing around Kelvin's Cairn to the east and the west of it. You can actually see that this dwarven valley continues all the way up to the mountain itself, and much of it actually cuts into the side of the mountain, at least up kind of two arms of it. And whether it is a real geological thing or whether it is something because of how the wind comes from the north and fills in this valley, that there is actually essentially a path ahead of you that leads all the way up to Kelvin's Cairn. And you see the first signs of it in this hour as you all march towards the northeast. And in general, that's what you guys are looking to stay inside of. It should be pretty easy to keep to that. But as you get closer and closer, you stop seeing Kelvin's Cairn more and more until by about 7 o'clock, you cannot see much more than 20 feet ahead of you. The winds are picking up, and the speeds of the winds are approaching 45, 50 miles an hour. You guys are inside of a blizzard by the end of this hour. What do you want to do?
Byron grabs his rope, starts tying his friends with it and himself to keep everyone close to each other.
Maybe we should try to hunker down. Can we try and build a windbreak or just try and ride the storm out?
There's something like that around here?
If we try to ride the storm out, then I don't know that we'd have time to continue our quest today, and might want to have to fall back to Bryn Shander. So I'm just saying, if we want to ride it out, we're probably not gonna get the ore today. But riding it out is certainly the safer. Riding it out or falling back to Bryn Shander is certainly safer than continuing in the storm.
I think it's too early to say if the blizzard can pass. We don't know how is the blizzard gonna stay. How much time it's gonna stay? I think if you go back this early, we wasted the day already. I think we should try to press on a bit more. If the blizzard seems to not pass, we get back. I think it's too early to give up.
I'm okay either way.
Carvath?
Luther, if you think you can get us through it, then perhaps we should press on, try and get through it.
I still think we should get ourselves tied up with the ropes so you can stay, don't get separated.
Agreed. But let's press on after we've tied ourselves together.
So, looking to press on, do a survival check for me.
You're doing fine.
Over the next hour, the blizzard continues. Your vision is still quite well reduced. You feel pretty confident that you are not walking up any hills that are taking you out of the valley. But when you look to the side, you see nothing but a wall of snow. When you look to the other side, nothing but a wall of snow. And when you look forward, nothing but a wall of snow. You're purely going on your actual memory that you are walking in the right direction. And hopefully that the wind itself is continuing from the same direction, as you're basically leaned like 45 degrees into the wind itself and moving forward. If you all continue forward into the second hour inside the blizzard, you can do another survival for me.
Are we agreed?
Yes, I'm okay.
No sense turning back now.
Not yet.
Okay, sorry. Every time for some reason, I'm rolling way too many survivals, so that 20 was erroneous. So here comes a real one.
I prefer the last one.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're doing, but you've rolled like 95 survivals.
Right. Well, the 9 was the legit one on that one.
So moving into the later parts of the morning, you continue to try to follow your gut and pushing forward. The wind itself seems to be picking up and is quite cacophonous. There's very little for you to hear as you all push forward. And eventually, you all are going to feel as some creatures say hello to you. What is the marching order for you?
I think he's Luther at front because he's the survival. I think
Yeah.
Byron will be at back. Carvath in the middle. I think. What do you think, Carvath?
Yeah, that makes sense. You have the two sort of more meaty guys kind of protecting him in the middle.
Sounds right. They got a taste for paladin.
Yeah, it was fun, guys. Rolling initiative.
Yep, so you guys can roll initiative here.
Oh, Mara, is it too late for me to say I would have cast Mage Armor as we were headed out? I'm fine either way. Just one.
I think you've done pretty good that you've made sure to have that for your 8-hour days, so I think that's fine.
Okay, thanks.
Sorry, I didn't mean to send that over. Just trying to figure out what I have.
Oh, no,
Oh,
that was
no.
me. I just
Let's
cast
see.
it
Oh,
to
okay. Yep.
get the slot out. Yeah.
Does that actually remove the slot for you, though, when you post it to here?
Yeah, it shows up as one off. Yeah.
Gotcha.
D Beyond. But I usually try to keep track manually anyway. So
What's the dexterity on Carvath?
he's a +2, so with Mage Armor it would be 15.
Yeah, mage armor. That's not what I'm. What's the dexterity on Byron? 14. Never mind. And Luther is not in order. Luther is a 19. All right, so these are all surprising you all in the actual blizzard here. Luther, you will miss your turn, having nothing that you can do there. You will now have the ability to react. I don't think that means you're going to be able to react this turn, but that's kind of how it's going to boil down here. And then the first of the crag cats is going to pounce on Byron. And it should hit with a 21.
Hits.
I need you to make a strength saving throw. So you're going to fall prone.
Nice.
So the claw attack is going to do 11 slashing damage to you.
Okay.
And then it is going to bonus attack to bite at you. Now that you are prone, that will be with advantage. A 20 should hit you.
Yeah, I'm going down.
And it's going to do another 11 piercing damage.
I have 6 points of HP. It's only one.
Well, this is the one instance, though. I moved all of the creatures to you as if they've already moved to kind of save that. If they actually down you, this attack will change a little bit. Carveth, so your turn is going to pass by, and then you will be able to react afterwards. Again, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have anything that you can react with, but you now have the ability to react.
Got it.
And then the next cat is going to pounce on Byron. Doesn't need advantage anyways, but it will have its advantage. If the target is prone. Yeah, I feel like that allows it to still do it. So the claw attack from the pounce will do another 9 points, and I think that will take you unconscious.
Yes.
And then it is going to bite you, and that is an auto crit. So you were going to lose 2 death saving throws right there.
Okay.
I think the next cat is going to charge at Carveth, and it is going to pounce at you. An 11, I think, will miss.
Yep, that misses.
And then the next cat is doing the same, and a 10 will miss. Byron, death saving throw, please.
Say goodbye for me. When I throw this.
Think positively. You've got over a 50% chance here.
I never use the death.
You can roll a flat d20. There's no reason to go any further. But if you go into your hit points in D&D Beyond and you reduce them to 0, once your hit points are at 0, there should be, I think it's a dice right in between the successes and the failures, and that die rolls death saving throws. Great time to use your inspiration to say it ahead of time, because I'm not going to let you use it if you fail it.
I gonna use my inspiration. Okay? You allow?
As long as it's before the roll. Yep, that's why I said it to you.
I'm
And it doesn't matter.
dead.
So yeah, that will be the end of Byron as he coughs up blood and is going to die. So, great time to basically recreate the exact same character. We will roll for a new secret and otherwise have him run in to save the day with the character. Unless you in particular wanted to roll somebody else, but being that you didn't really play Byron for long, I feel like the exact same character sounds good. Luther, what would you like to do?
Okay, so let's see. I have a bonus action or a full action or what?
Now you're full. This is the start of the second round of combat. You should have access to everything.
Okay, so I take a bonus action to throw Sanctuary on Carvath. I don't know what that was. I don't know if that made sense.
Yeah, Sanctuary is pretty fucking powerful, so yeah.
Okay, and then I fire my crossbow at
Solid hits, you will deal 8 damage to.
And then, I'm sorry, I don't. I'm new to combat. So then I can move or take another action. Is that right?
No, you have no other actions. You've used your action and you've used your bonus, but you can always move inner space between everything that you do in combat.
Okay.
But I don't think you can move any further than probably like 20 feet away from Carvath.
I don't think I'll move. I was wondering if I could get my mace ready.
I feel like more or less your free action. I feel like your free action gets used. You probably have a bolt in there. So, like, you could stow your crossbow or drop your crossbow. I feel like you could probably drop your crossbow and pull your mace.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Mauricio, do you need time to think about what you're going to do? Do you have something in mind? Are you there, Fenton? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Word. Yeah, I actually kind of wanted him to roll an initiative before we left the top of the initiative order here. Oh, this is going to get funny real quick. Sorry to make light of killing a character, but this is about to get funny. Because the cat's got a kill. All they want to do is drag the body away now. They're done with this combat. And you guys are tied together at the waist.
I don't want to get too meta, so would we have any idea that that's what the cats are doing?
Well, this first cat here is going, right? Is that the right cat? Yeah, this first cat here is going to drag his corpse away. And it's going to come taut between the two of you. As it is, I don't know if it's smart enough. But yeah, it's just gonna kind of like growl out, and I feel like this is just to see 11. It's probably enough that I think they can kind of get it across. There's going to be some sort of a problem for the cats, but like you would feel the tug on your waist as it kind of drags his body away.
Okay.
And it's gonna go to you at that point, Carveth.
So seeing, kind of shell shocked by like the, being surprised by these cats, and then seeing Byron go down, and then the rope coming taut, and Carvath is just going to try and at this point save his own skin. So he's going to pull out his dagger and try to cut the rope that's connecting him to.
Oh shit! Roll a d20 for me.
Oh, for the mage armor.
Yeah, I'm so bad at remembering that it like has the chance to happen with spells. All right, word. Nothing happens.
Higher spell, right? Yeah, I should remember that too.
Are you still in chat right now, Mauricio?
Yeah, I'm here. Not
Do
sure
you
why
have a
I'm.
thought what you would like to do right now? Do you want to recreate that character? You basically would have to, like, if you were going to recreate a paladin again, you can pretty much just rename that guy, re-roll his hit points, and roll for initiative, and get you back in the combat here.
I'm sorry. Do you want me to create a new character, paladin, you put him right now in the same place?
I want you to recreate a new character. If you're going to recreate a new paladin, you've not gotten a chance to really play Byron, so I feel like that's kind of the way that you should go. It's up to you if you wanted to play something new, but I want you right now either to be creating a new character or to actually start playing. Because, yeah, if you're ready to just roll those three things, I'm ready to have you in this round of combat.
Let me see. To be honest, the only thing I'm gonna change here, it's the attributes and the name. The background needs to change, but I will change nothing else, I think.
Yeah, so a lot of that stuff you can change after the session. I'd rather have you actually playing instead of remove you for dying. So roll 2d10 to figure out the difference in your health. Yeah, so you'll just switch. I feel like you had much better last time. I think you had 18 as your rolled hit points. You'll just change that 18 to a 10. And then roll a new initiative.
Just give me a sec so I can change here.
And then my bad. As soon as I got his attention, that's what I was looking for, Justin. So you are cutting the rope between you and Byron. I feel like an attack with an advantage, and I think DC on something like that's like 8 or 10.
Okay, so just when we just roll a dagger attack, right?
Yeah. Pretty much in the heat of the moment, like, yeah, you're able to get off roll damage, pretty much anything but a 1, I feel like. I think a 1 is the sign that, like, you slip off of it. Yep, exit. So perfect. In the heat of the moment, as you see as they swarm around Byron and take him down, you very quickly see as they swarm to you, and they start to fail, and the initial thing that you think is they're predators. They're going to take his corpse. And by the moment that you feel that rope go taut is right about when you get the knife to the rope, and the actual force of the crag cat pulling his body away from you helps you sever that line. And in a quick, loud pop, you guys now have about a 30-foot rope, and Byron is separated from the group. And probably already actually out of view because you guys can see kind of less than 20 feet in all of this.
So if I can still see Luther, I would sort of panicking. I'm not even thinking about like, I'm just trying to get away from the cat. So I would try and move closer to him. Maybe like back up. I assume this is difficult terrain in the blizzard, so.
It's not in particular difficult terrain because you guys do have snowshoes. The actual ability to see stuff and to hear, like using your senses, is a lot of what blizzards actually make difficult.
Okay.
It's one of the things that I feel like they do so much to make a great setting, and then they're immediately like, and everybody gets cold weather gear. And pretty much like so many of the quests are like, hey, you should buy snowshoes right off the bat. And it's like, yeah, that's like the difficulties you guys built into the shit. So yeah, those two are going to both make attacks at you. So I feel like it happens first that they have to make a wisdom. So this is a wisdom check. The first will not be able to attack you, and the second one, it's going to be able to with the DC 13, and it has a +2. Yep. So it's going to slash out. So this is to then hit you. +5, 17. I believe that will be a hit.
Yep, that hits.
And it's going to claw you for 7. I think slashing damage from its claws.
Okay. I am going to. I'm just going to use my bonus action to spend my sorcery points to recover that first level spell slot. And that,
Oh yeah, in the long run, if that's part of your idea, you could have done that afterwards as well.
yeah, well, I had to double check whether that was an action or a bonus action, but it's a.
So yeah, I think everything is actually about to clear up here, with you separated from the cats, and them pulling away the body. I think that is exactly what they are about to do, and they are all going to move to the south.
Okay, I sent you my initiative.
Gotcha. And is that other D20 there? Was that from you for your secret?
Yeah,
Excellent. I believe the 19 is roll a D4 for me. Roll 2D20 for me. To create a human.
it's the same, just changing the name.
Excellent. So to confirm, Byron was a human.
Ah, yes.
Excellent. That's one of my favorite secrets, one of the ones that you rolled, but I know it requires a human because I made the mistake of not noticing that it requires a human in a previous campaign.
I start to get scared.
It's a good thing to be scared about. So I'm about to send those to you.
Thanks a lot.
I mean, honestly, I'm in the process of writing up these kind of things for like every campaign. I think this is one of the coolest parts of this campaign. Like, create your character, and then afterwards, some shit's gonna change based on some dice rolls. Oh, and both of those go together so fucking good on some level. Yeah, so on some level, Fenton,
What
I
the
feel like
hell?
the first one is something that you knew. The second thing happened to you, and you have now been dropped back here, and you know that that first one's going to come back into play now that the second big ass shit is over with. I feel like
Basically, my life is a mess because I was trying to escape something. The other thing happened to me. Then they decide to throw me back here. Now, I mean, I'm a mess.
yeah, so again, this is one of those things where the character shouldn't know offhand. We'll let him actually bring it up, like how things play out. But in game, like for the actual players playing these characters, he is the heir of Neverwinter, who Daggalt Neverember has been trying to kill, and is basically fleeing for his life. He has since been captured by mind flayers who crashed into the 10 towns. So he is in fact here because he was on a mind flayer ship that has crashed. And he is now trying to run for his life from that, only realizing that he is back on Faerun and Daggalt is going to be coming after him all over again.
I had escaped to another plane. Then these mind flayers get me. He bring me back to Faerun. All right. So now I'm back from the flying plane. Now I'm back to the fire. I'm screwed. So, guys, you go. This character is going to be paranoid.
So I think on some level, the introduction to bring you into the party is actually going to be in these moments where they realize that these cats have basically just drug off one of their friends.
I have an
to
idea.
eat.
I have an idea. From nowhere, Etor appeared to help because he came from the debris from the ship of the mind flayers, and he appeared to help, try to help. That's it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna throw it out there from my actual knowledge. Like, you can be retreating from that, but you are many, many miles away from where that ship crashed.
Yes,
But yeah,
the ship fell behind Kelvin Cairns. He's fleeing.
no, again, I know where the ship crashed, and it's a part of the actual game that you guys can figure out later. These are just the first people that you see since the actual ship crashing. And we're gonna throw you into the group like that. So whether you actually choose to share that is up to you. But basically, you're going to walk up to them in this blizzard where none of you can see anything, and all of a sudden you're going to be seeing these people ahead of you. And that's kind of where we are going to pick up with the three of you right now.
So let's do some rolling play here. So you just lost Byron. Someone else appeared, try to help you. So let's see. What you guys want to do?
Well, I think Luther would have almost instinctively run after Byron's, after Byron, and then maybe be pulled up taut by the rope, and pause, realizing that Byron is lost and that the animals are too powerful to fight. So if that's the case, he goes back and picks up his crossbow.
Yeah, I mean, within a moment, they move far quicker than you guys. Within a moment, you don't see the crag cats again. If you tried to move away, you would get caught up by being tied to Carvath. But even as you move that distance, you still can't see the crag cats. So if you are intent on following them, Luther, at some level, you're going to have to convince these two people to try to track them with you.
No, I get it. I just think that my instinctive reaction would have, but yeah, I think that he realizes the futility of it.
So Etor appear from here with both hands raised. He approached them.
Yeah, so you would see Carvath kind of holding his arm, and there's like a big gash in the leather, and you can see kind of blood dripping into the snow, and he's kind of like he like turns around real quick as he like kind of like peers into the blizzard. As he just makes out your form, he kind of instinctively takes a step back, and then maybe he might try and like call out who goes there, but it's possible it wouldn't be heard over the sound of the blizzard. So he was essentially just kind of like very warily standing there and kind of watching as he approaches.
Etor yells in the snow, "Peace! Peace, friends! Peace! I came in peace. Please don't attack me."
Yeah, outside of about 30 feet, you guys don't have the ability to yell. Inside of these winds, they're howling far too loudly. So by the time that you can actually communicate, you've already seen each other, and that's within yelling distance. But you're already essentially, nearly face to face by the time any of that can happen.
Okay.
I keep my hands up. He looking at them, still saying, "Peace. I only want to talk." I yell, "But let's get out of the blizzard."
Carvath nods and kind of seems to relax a little bit as the man is holding up his hands, and kind of he's realizing that it was just really kind of the adrenaline from the cats kind of making him so wary, and he'll and he'll nod at Etor's. Is it Etor's?
Etor.
He'll nod at Etor's suggestion, and then kind of look towards Luther, because Luther was the one who was kind of guiding them before, and he really has no idea how to get out of this thing.
Well, I think my first question to Etor would be, is there shelter nearby?
Not that I know of. I came from the north. There is nothing there but snow. We need to move away. to the south, back to the city. There is nothing there. I didn't see anything. There is only peril. You need to go back to the city.
We've just been attacked by a pack of giant cats. They dragged our companion off. I think they went south. I'd really rather not run into them again. But perhaps we should try and get back to the city.
There's some GM. There is any way Etor knows anything about the region they are because he knows about Icewind, or because he's coming from the where the ship, so he's walking for some time. He probably knows some. He saw something in the way. He knows anything that can help him.
Did you take the? Are you going to take the same skills as you had with Byron?
I was thinking changing one, wanting something in survival.
Survival, it's definitely a good choice.
Aside that, I was trying to gonna keep nature. I was putting in persuasion, but I don't think I'm gonna keep persuasion. I don't know yet, but for sure they're gonna put in survival. I think is in this situation is much better.
I mean, this is quite literally like the survival campaign. So it is one that's quite important. This and Tomb of Annihilation are about the only two that actually are survival campaigns. I would say, again, I think it would fit best if you are freshly crashed in the ship and that you've basically been wandering around this wilderness for more time than you really know. It could have been for days, it could have been for weeks. You're not really sure. As far as I'm concerned, I feel like the best thing for you to have as a past is essentially knowing what you once were doing, and kind of waking up inside of this like pod, basically, where at some point it just seems to have shut down, and all of a sudden this technology that you did not recognize kind of released you from a prison cell, and you were basically in the snow. I think it's probably best to assume that no, you have not experienced pretty much anything of 10 towns, but I don't necessarily think that that should mean that you don't understand what Icewind Dale is. And that's where I like the idea of leaning into the other one, which is that you are actually an heir of Neverwinter, which Neverwinter is about the closest this area gets to like a friendly ally that there ever really was. So perhaps it's one of those things that you fled up here and then got captured and have been brought back. But I feel like it's probably better to kind of assume that the reason you're alive is because you were captured long ago, and don't really know what's going on up here. But that's up to you. Again, that's kind of the conversation I'd rather have at a later date than trying to write a backstory in the middle of a session. I think for now, though, go with kind of an amnesia flow. And as you create your character over this next week, if you want to talk about backstory stuff, we can spitball stuff back and forth. But that's where I would kind of lean to it. Stick to not having any information now because you're suffering from amnesia. And then as you have time to create the character outside of the session, we can work what you might know and not know.
Okay, it works for me. I need to think more about the background anyway. It is interesting because the secrets giving me more to think about the background than the contrary. So Etor say to them that he doesn't know. I don't know where we are. I'm not sure. All I know that I've been traveling from the north. Yeah, I'm trying to find a place to rest. I'm the last place I stayed was a cavern, but it was too cold. I can't find to. It's too cold. I can find dry wood. If I don't find a place to get warm, I'm probably gonna be dead the next day.
There's a city 3 hours walk to the southwest, but so I do have the survival proficiency. So do I know how to hunker down and build a snow fort, or is it the same risk moving through? Is it the same chance of dying moving through a blizzard, or do I know how to hunker down in a blizzard and be a little less prone to death?
More or less, hunkering down is definitely the thing that will put you in less danger. At very least, you now understand that there are large cats out here, that their prey inside of a blizzard, it doesn't really affect their ability to hunt. Those things were on top of you all before you ever saw them, and they had left your proximity before you ever had a chance to even like do next to anything. Um, and that's one of those reasons why people will on a regular basis tell you if there's a blizzard, stop moving. If you would like to build like an igloo, you can certainly do something like that. It's going to take you time. But I think it's the kind of thing most people would understand, that even if you basically put like the four of you underneath a tarp and you sit on the tarp like that, doing anything is better than trying to move through a blizzard.
I suggest we hunker down and hope that the storm passes.
I
Carva, are you wounded? Do you need a healing word?
My arm's a bit shredded, but I'm
Etor casts Cure Wounds at Carver.
And so as Karvat's kind of flesh knits up and the bleeding stops, he looks towards Etor, and he nods, gratefully. Thank you. And then he'll look towards Luther and like agree we should hunker down. Tell me what you need me to do. He's kind of offering himself to do any work, because he wouldn't know how to do a fort, but he trusts Luther's sort of outdoorsman skills.
So Luther and does the appropriate thing in terms of building a snow fort or building an igloo or making do with what he can.
Etor helps.
What do you want to do there? Do you want to actually build an igloo?
Do I have sure, if I have the knowledge to build an igloo, absolutely I want to build an igloo.
Yeah, I don't think it's absurd for most people to understand that you are basically cutting what is it? I come up with isosceles triangle, but that's the wrong word for sure. But essentially like just slightly off of rectangles out of the snow with the right pack, and you can make them. It's best to cut out of the actual area that you are building around. I think there's a lot of qualities about it that are pretty simple, but you can make a survival check here.
I can help.
Yeah, boy. Oh no, I got the igloo.
Okay, never mind.
So as you take the next hour to start and build an igloo, right around the time where you're going to put in like some of those last blocks on top, the blizzard breaks. The winds set back to about 30-mile-an-hour winds. you start to see some of the first sites where the actual snow clears moments at a time. And again, you can see Kelvin's Cairn every once in a while. And you notice you're probably still closer to Bryn Shander than you would have actually expected. But looking back, you probably recognize at that point you're approximately 2 hours away from Bryn Shander.
Oral, you bitch.
Yeah, I rolled
Okay.
terribly low numbers for the actual blizzard, so it was 7 till 10 a.m. So it was quite perfectly like by the time you sat back to like build the shelter. But like part of what I was saying about like if you actually just hide under a tarp, you pretty much have your shelter made right away. If you're going to make an igloo, if there's an encounter that's going to happen in that hour, the encounter is going to happen while you're out in the elements. So like if cats were meant to attack at that hour, you might still get attacked because you're building something versus if you're hiding as the snow builds up around you, you're more likely to miss or be missed over by something like that, like a predator. I feel like there's a little bit difference on like what you're going for and how it plays out.
Yeah, I was thinking like kind of like just a real makeshift sort of like dig a quick hole in the ground and get something over you and just try to like, kind of get out of the wind as much as you can and sort of hunker down. But
Yeah, I mean, one of the best ways to shelter in the snow is to actually like basically burrow a hole that you can kind of like slide into like a sleeping bag. And pretty much like the biggest thing that you want to make sure is that you've got a place for yourself to breathe out of. And then just have your feet at that edge of the hole. That's one of the best ways to do it. But yeah, I feel like in the long run, there's a lot of ways that you can do to make yourself survive through a blizzard. But that's one of those occasions where, yeah, you guys are learning traveling in a blizzard is dangerous. It's extremely dangerous.
it's definitely a common occurrence. We've had them happen both days we've been here.
Yeah, I mean, effectively, like, again, a really nice day in Icewind Dale has about 35-mile-an-hour winds, and it snows. Blizzards happen probably 3 to 4 times in any given 24-hour period. I think an off day would actually be probably a day that has like 1 or 2 blizzards, like whiteouts.
Right. Okay.
Again, this is not supposed to be a friendly place. This is a horrendous place to be, and this is part of why, in general, the people of Icewind Dale don't actually leave and like walk across these trails.
Right. So as like the blizzard dies down, just as kind of we're finishing up the last of the preparations, again, Carvat's going to kind of like mutter, a cursed, kind of a curse of oral under his breath. And then he'll look towards the others and should we should still return to town, or if you want to press on? And then he'll kind of take a few minutes to explain to, or maybe they were doing that while they were setting it up, but kind of explaining to Edward kind of why they're out here about the the dwarves and the ore and all that.
Yeah, I feel like over the hour of building it, you guys could certainly be basically yelling that between each other.
Yeah, just kind of catching him up to speed a little bit.
There's a part of me that thinks that the day is still early, and although we're a little diminished, we're just going to face the same thing tomorrow if we fall back. But I'll go with whatever you two feel like, because we are a little diminished. We could use a rest. But we're perhaps halfway to where we expect to find the ore.
Yeah, I feel like you guys are probably right around the tip of that arrow. And I feel like you expect to go roughly, basically, another 2 to 4 hours towards Kelvin's Cairn, which is probably where that circle is vaguely.
Yeah, I think Carvat would suggest maybe while the weather's good, we try and press on, and then maybe see if we can find it, and then in a couple hours, sort of again reassess and see what the weather's doing and if we found anything or.
And what do you think, Etor? You are part of
I-
our party now.
I think you receive me so well, and I want to stay with people I can trust. Since you are trusting me, I want to trust you, and I'm gonna help you fulfill your quest. So I'll go help you find Ilhor. Yeah, I'm gonna help uh, make sure your friend Byron make sure his soul rests knowing that the quest he was trying to do is complete.
So if you were
He's a
If you are
dramatic
ready.
man. He's a
Luther
dramatic.
casts a sad look at his igloo, and I guess we're gonna press on.
when you are ready to press on, you could do another survival. If you are going to take it with Etor, you guys can either each roll, or you can have one of you lead and roll with advantage.
Do you want to do that if you roll with it, both lead and roll with advantage? I mean, you're probably our best leader.
No, let's you throw. Let's go. What? I'm sorry. We're rolling what? I think I lost myself.
Well, I think the choice was we could either both roll or one of us rolls, but with advantage.
You roll. I have to change my character sheet yet. So you roll. What advance? I have to change my things here.
So as you push forward, still there's clearings in the actual snow where you're able to see the valley ahead of you that leads up into Kelvin's Cairn. Good signs to confirm that you are on the right path, moving in the right direction, and essentially keeping two things. More or less, that hour is going to pass rather uneventfully.
I think we were expecting to travel for 4 hours before we got to the right area, so I guess we'll press on. Should I roll survival again?
Yep, you can do another survival. Might as well do it at advantage, assuming that Ethor is helping.
Yes.
So moving into the general area where you expect to start to have a chance of finding this, you're moving deeper into this actual valley that seems to be called the Valley of the Dwarves. There are some signs of life in these areas. In general, it's kind of like different shelters that seem to be created and then basically frozen some time ago. I think in general, it's almost like they're in that like clear blue ice of a glacier, that they're like frozen into the actual walls. And it's the first kind of signs of sort of like a life before the actual freezing that really like deeply set into this area. And you see qualities of it that are definitely dwarvish in nature, like shorter doors and whatnot. But more or less, you all move forward. Everything seems to be going fine. And towards the end of this, again, the winds are going to pick up, and the snow picks up to where by the time you guys are expecting it's roughly halfway through the day, you're back in a whiteout condition. You can see about 20 feet. You can hardly hear much of anything across the cacophony of the winds, and essentially the snowfall is keeping it so you can't even see the walls of this corridor any longer, and you're going to have to make a decision again about what to do in a blizzard.
Well, I think we should hunker down. Were any of those shelters nearby when the whiteout descended?
No, like they're all frozen inside of like a glacier ice. Like they're frozen inside of like blue ice. So you can see through the ice and you can see these shelters, but they're not shelters like there.
Got it.
It's just like a sign that at one point this valley actually was inhabited by dwarves. The closer you get to Kelvin's Cairn.
Yeah, given what happened last time we pressed on, I'm with you. We hunker down again. Try to ride it out.
Hector agrees. I think we are pushing our luck already. I think we went as far as we can. We need to stop for a moment. See if we can keep going. This blizzard don't seem to be weakening.
Perhaps a snow cave instead of an igloo this time?
Yeah, let's see if we can find this.
What are you thinking, Snow Cave?
Basically, the idea of burrowing, of cutting down into the snow and laying down a tarp and that basic survival technique.
So just kind of like hollowing out a little bit of the ground and then throwing like a tarp over top of you?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think in general, you can do a survival check to see how that goes.
I fix it, but you try, Luther, with advantage because I'm helping. Nice.
So yeah, you're pretty successful, basically covering all of the edges with snow, making sure to pack everything down so it pretty well has a sealed in top. And essentially you guys are able to sneak into this small little area underneath. In general, what are you all going to do as the blizzard storms above you?
Hector gonna to ask, just to make sure, are we in this is Pharaoh, right?
Carvel will kind of raise an eyebrow at the question and then, yes, Icewind Dale specifically.
Damnation. Thank you. Icewind Dale, okay. Are you both, any of you are from Neverwinter?
I think around here everyone's from somewhere down south.
Yes.
Likely non-answer.
Okay. Hector notices. He looks at the canvas with a bit suspicion. How about you, my friend Luther? You are from the south, I bet.
I am from the south, but I'm not familiar with the world, so I don't know where I'd be from. I wouldn't know how to answer the question.
Luther and Larry?
This is Larry. Yeah, I don't know the geography.
If I recall, we are Byron and Luther are from a small town, very south of the Furon, next to, I don't know, next to Baldur Gate or something like that. I don't know. I'm guessing.
Yeah, so I mean, if you guys were from Baldur's Gate, you would at very least know of Neverwinter as a matter of the alliance with the Lord's Alliance. Baldur's Gate having a joined military reason to band together with Neverwinter among Waterdeep.
Just,
And some of the smaller principalities.
just a guess. I imagine that since you are from the priesthood, you probably know about Baldur's Gate, Neverwinter, that kind of thing. And your friend Byron worked for the for an order in a city, a big city. Now I don't remember where the Knight of the Gold Line was, but I can look. Anyway,
Yeah, this is Larry. I don't know any of this, so
let's just keep simple. So you don't respond. Then Eto looks at both of you. I understand. You both don't want to speak about your past. I don't want to speak about my past. I think it's a good thing. The past only keeps us from looking to the future.
Well, given my short time here, I have noticed that people don't like nosy questions. So perhaps it's best we all keep some of the personal bits to ourselves.
I,
Apologies, because I feel like my accent's all over the place with this character. I'm not good at voices, so
no, neither I tried to find. I was trying to find a voice to Byron, but now I'm trying to find a voice to Hector. Who knows who I'm trying to try next session?
Having a plethora of accents for a doppelganger is just absolutely.
oh yeah, he doesn't know which one to use, and he just switches between them, not even knowing he's doing it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that makes
you're like
sense.
lost in all of these people whose minds you've invaded and become over time. Like you don't actually know what voice is yours.
We'll go with that. Yep.
Just answer me this. What year is this?
Without actually having decided, I think we're gonna throw you guys into about 1495.
So, considering that this is Fenton speaking, he doesn't know because he was captured by mind flayers. So they doesn't know exactly what time is now, how long he was captured. He's a bit lost in time, so he's a bit weird.
Yeah,
So
so when you actually look into it, Mount Hotnu, I feel like exploded around the 1450s, I think 1456 or something. And that was the start of your family basically being eradicated. So knowing that Dagult is coming after you, I would say you would have at least lived in Neverwinter for some points into like the 60s or 70s. So depending on how old you create that character and how much backstory you create of them, you probably have about 30 to 35 years that you can kind of play with on how long you might have been away for.
yeah, how old you think he's 35-year old or more?
Oh, that's all on you. I'm not going to tell you how old to be with your character. You could be 15 years old for all I care. In the long run, all that's going to matter is that Dagult Neverember thinks that you are a member of the Neverwinter family line. It doesn't matter whether you actually tie yourself in as having grown up as a noble. Like, you don't have to have a noble's background. You could be um, an orphan. You could be like I can't think of the word of the person who grows up like familyless, like on the streets, like for the actual background. But you can choose all of those things. That's all going to be up to you to decide as you create the character. That's why for now, I would play as much of the actual ignorance of this is the first time you're speaking to humans in what feels like forever to you. Trying to recall your past feels like it's forever away. Lean into the amnesia until effectively next week, where you can start to play up that stuff is coming back, depending on how much you actually want to create.
I'm not going to remember my past. I'm just playing the paranoia that he knows someone is trying to get him. He just don't know who or where. He just trying to find out where he is, who the people are, why he's feeling someone was going to get him. Trying to work this angle, but let's move on.
So if you all shelter in place, let me get intelligence rolls from you. Love it.
On brand.
Feels like you guys shelter in place for about 12 hours. And by the time the winds start to die down and you actually hear a little bit of calm winds, and by calm again, I mean like 30 mile an hour winds. That is still extremely fast winds. You guys start to come out of your little shelter, expecting to see it well into the darkness of night, perhaps even having the moon well into its arc through the night. And as you look up, you see the aurora still overhead. So somewhere between hours and 12 hours has passed by, but there is still light from the aura. So you can continue to look, or assume that you are still like right before nightfall. It's kind of up to you guys. You have no clue what time it is, though.
Would this have counted as a rest?
You guys could short rest there.
And a short rest does I'm sorry again. Does a short rest restore a spell slot?
Short rest is particular to each class what it does. If you go under your feats and features, you can see what is restored. I feel like for a cleric at this point, I don't think you get anything back on short rest. A short rest in general is a chance to use hit dice to regain some health. Other than that, that's kind of what you're limited to. But spell slots are definitely, aside from wizards, spell slots are essentially long rest items.
Yeah, I think it's warlocks who get them back on short rest, but other than that, it's long rest for pretty much everybody. Except for like sometimes you can gain like I think there's like an arcane recovery for wizards that they can use, and there might be some other stuff for other classes, but I don't think it wouldn't be anything.
Shows how much I hate warlock. I don't even like consider that fact.
Yeah, I remember you saying like I forget somebody who's a warlock's like, okay, get ready to short rest every try to can we short rest now? Can we short rest now?
Yeah, like a group of warlocks, monks, and fighters, they just blow their load and then rest. And I'm like, guys, you do realize this is why there's 2 rests. You can't just always have everything. Like, at some point, play the game for the fact that, like, when you don't have shit and you go through a fight, that's usually the best fights. They're the most memorable.
So basically, we don't know what time is it, but the winds have slowed down a little, so we can try to venture out a little more.
At this point, we don't know if we can actually make it back to Bryn Shander before dark, so we might as well press on.
Yes, it's clear that we can survive a night doing what we already did. I think we should press on.
Sounds good.
Let's move out then.
Okay, I was actually wrong. I was thinking it was at a later level that you got channel divinities back on a short rest. I was thinking that was at like level 6. Is anybody still injured in the group?
Nope. Mauricio's cure wounds got me back to full, so I'm good.
Gotcha. Yeah, so short resting there like that, you could have popped preserve life, but there's really no reason to.
I see. Oh, okay.
But that's one of those tough calls on floating damage or healing damage right away. Because that class in particular does have that. It's a very strong ability that if you guys are about to short rest, you can heal a lot of hit points for essentially no cost assuming that you successfully short rest. But as you all finish, you clean up the tarp and you prepare to move on. Are we sticking to Luther is rolling an advantage, or are you guys going to both roll?
It's working so far.
I have a question. Does this is his survival role including like looking for the ore, or is that just kind of trying to keep on track of the sort of direction we're going? So I was going to ask if like as like while Luther's and Edor helping him are trying to keep us on track, if Carvath can essentially try to sort of look for any signs of like sled. Well, I guess after the blizzard they probably get obliterated anyway, so never mind.
Yeah, so one of the things is the blizzards do clear all signs of tracks. So there really are no tracks here. In general, how this mission write-up quest kind of happens is, yeah, these survival checks are essentially to get you there. There's not like an added side of it that you have to do other stuff. It's more or less, can you continue forward and make it there successfully? If the roll is successful, you basically move towards it. If the roll is not successful, you kind of spend an hour like bumbling about and get no closer. It doesn't really have like a third option.
Okay, makes sense. Thanks.
I feel like in part that's because, again, once you get like an hour or two into this, you're pretty well defined into the actual Dwarven Valley. I'm not sure how then it really matters that you have to make the survival check still. But I'm going to go ahead and say that's in general kind of the idea that once you get close enough, you're just going to see the actual cart or sled. So Luther, do another survival with advantage. Alrighty, so here, as you all move forward, you eventually are going to crest over a little bit of these hills. You guys have been moving up into kind of like foothills of Kelvin's Cairn for a while. That's been part of like the weird sensation of actually following these trails, is you're walking up towards a mountain that slowly is on an incline, and you're hoping that you're not like walking up and out of the actual valley of the dwarves. But as you are moving forward, you do come upon what is, at this point, a slightly less horrific scene. But you do eventually come upon the scene of what you assume to be Ubak's body. You find the corpse decapitated and missing multiple limbs. Essentially, you find a torso in the center of this kind of trail ahead of you. There is blood kind of splattered over a lot of different areas where you see kind of like a faint, it's not even a red, it really is almost like a pink, because a lot of it is essentially covered over by fresher snow. But as you're kind of like looking over things, you don't see the cart itself in this area, or the sled itself. You do spot footprints though. And let me have a wisdom survival from both of you, Luther and Byron.
Etor.
Etor. Yep, I need to change that name so I actually see it. So as the two of you kind of look over these, it's pretty quick for both of you to kind of like glance back up to each other and see, and almost in unison.
I'm sorry, it was a window save.
What's the difference between your save and your actual check, like your survival?
It's the same. Sorry. It's the same.
So it's the same die roll. That's what matters. The two of you almost like look up to each other at the same time. Both of you guessing that there's approximately 6, and these are most definitely goblin footprints. Looking over things. Actually, no, you wouldn't even be able to necessarily place them as goblin. I'm sorry. I feel like you can place that they are small creatures. Yeah, my bad. Small creatures wearing snowshoes. So you can't actually place the feet because they're wearing shit to keep from frostbite. Duh. But you can very clearly notice that they are small creatures. For what it's worth, and the fact that I already said goblins, you guys can make that kind of general connection that you're either going to be looking towards some goblins or some kobolds that are moving away with these. And they seem to be taking the sled to the south.
So can while they're sort of inspecting these tracks, can Carvath go and kind of take a look at Ubak's corpse? We probably assume that whatever took the card also looted the corpse, that he's just gonna take a look while they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah, you're just trying to check over the actual corpse itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Do an investigation. Looking through it, seems like most of his corpse. I don't know if they ever said. Most of the corpse does seem to have been kind of looted, but you do see that there's a single gold coin that kind of like fell, perhaps out of a purse and fell into like the back of the jacket. It was purely just like loosely beneath the corpse, between the jacket and the corpse. Had anything else kind of moved it, it would have been dislodged.
Okay, so Carvath will pick it up, kind of brushing the snow off on his outer, jacket. He'll, put it into his purse, and then he'll move over to towards the others and kind of ask what they found.
Was the number 8 the correct number of feet? Not Yetis anyway. And then it looks like they took the sled to the south. Can I ask if you found anything on the body that his friends might want to keep? Any pendants or anything like that?
Most of what he had must have been taken by whatever took the cart. I did find a gold piece. Must have probably fell out of his purse, or other than that, nothing.
What a terrible end for anyone.
Well, I have to say that I'd rather face 8 small beings than a single Yeti. What do you say? Shall we try to recover the sled?
I think we must.
We've come this far. We might as well continue.
So as you all decide to go after it, my bad. If you guys have anything else to say.
Oh no, I'm good. Sorry.
I'm good.
As you all decide to go after it, you can push forward. You know these tracks are pretty fresh, that you are probably pretty close behind them. If it has survived like this last little bit through the blizzard, this bodes well for you. So let me have you all do a survival check. Oh yeah, my bad. That would have still been the same idea as before. Not necessarily for Carvath.
Okay, I wasn't sure, but
so you all can push forward, continuing to follow behind this sled that seems to be pushed by these small creatures. Occasionally, I think you're going to see glances at them in the light ahead, and you can see that they are essentially small creatures moving almost directly south from where you all are. And they are probably leading out just in front of you all, where at this point you pretty well assume that you are going to catch them within the next like half hour to an hour. But aside from the worst happening, you pretty much have their backs right now.
so I have a question. When the Cragcats attacked, did they sort of like roar or make any sounds that we would have heard? Like, would Carvath have heard him well enough to be able to try and recreate the sound if he had to? Magically, I mean, obviously.
You would have heard it in the blizzard. Whether that means that you can recreate it might be a different story. Do a perception at disadvantage. The DC will be 10. I'd say with that, you can do a blizzardy Cragcat sound. It's not going to be the best, but it gives you some ability to like mimic the Cragcat.
Okay, just asking, obviously, because of the one spell I can cast. I wasn't sure. I don't know how familiar I have to be with the thing I'm trying to recreate. So that's kind of what I was asking for.
What are you trying to do?
Not trying to do anything now, but like if he.
Well, what spell is it though?
Minor illusion. Like, would he be able to recreate sort of that sound? Having now kind of heard it, but obviously not gotten a great ear of it. So that was kind of what I was asking for. So I assume it has to be a sound I'm familiar with to essentially mimic it. Sorry, not casting it. I'm just to.
Yeah. So again, I feel like you can do it. It's just going to be a Cragcat's like roar on the wind. And I think that's where it might not be as effective as you're hoping, kind of thing.
If I may suggest, this, I think I know you are trying to imagine. I try to create a distraction, right?
Essentially, yeah. Like if we can distract them or scare a couple of them off or something like that.
So I imagine that sound will be not enough. Maybe if you can create the whole image of a cat, will be more effective. The problem is how to create that in the middle of a blizzard that will be enough to scare them. That's, I think, the probably you no, I don't know if it's going to work, but it's a good idea to try to at least take them by surprise.
Yeah, technically a Cragcat is a large creature, so I should have expanded those tokens that were dropped for them. So you can actually make like an image of a Cragcat. You could make the image of like a smaller Cragcat if you were trying to make it look like one.
Yeah, I kind of figured it was too big of a creature for me to be able to like create an illusion of one, given the 5-foot cube limit. So
who could use a goblin, maybe a goblin saying hello from a distance. Maybe they will look at that. We can approach the attack from surprise. Just an idea.
Yeah, I'll sort of think on that and then but maybe for now we should try and catch up with them. Do you think?
Yeah, we need to catch up. See if they don't see us, so you can engage them. At least knowing the least we know about goblins that they don't they are not good with melee. They are going to attack us with range attacks. So the best for us is to get closer. We both got learned that the worst way.
So what's your thought moving up on them?
As quiet as you can. See if you can catch up to them. As soon as you can see them, we see if you can approach quietly. But I don't know what the others think. And you will need to discuss if distraction will be a good idea. I think it is.
Do they all did? Can we see or make out how many of them are actually pulling the cart or sled?
You guys can do perceptions at disadvantage. It's hard to tell at this distance, and in the spots where the snow is kind of breaking ahead of you. But it seems like whatever is there, all of them are pushing and pulling this sled.
We can assume that is probably more than 3, 4. Because if you imagine there is uh, iron ores, they are heavy. They're probably the 4 or 5. That's estimation. I don't know. Probably more. I don't know.
The dwarf said it would be a challenge for 3 humans. I don't know if it helps us though, but perhaps we could. No, I don't know how it helps us.
Wait, what did the dwarf say?
The dwarfs didn't the dwarfs say that that the 2 or 3 of us would be able to move it, but was quite heavy.
Oh yeah, okay, I got you.
It means that if it was be hard to us, it means that it will be probably a lot of goblins to get that moving. Probably there must be have something else helping, some kind of beast. Anyway, the only way we can find out if we approach. But if we approach too much, they gonna see us. So we have to decide how long we're gonna follow them, or if we're gonna to attack. If we're going to attack, we must devise a strategy.
And I can try to distract them. Maybe try and make it sound like we're more than we are. Add a voice from another distance to perhaps scare them off, but I don't know. I'm not too confident that would work.
I don't know because there is the wind. They're going to hear. The first thing I always thought about the goblins is the ranged attack. If they are in great numbers, they're going to shower us with arrows.
In any event, my idea wouldn't work until we're fairly close anyway.
Just tell me whether I should be wielding my crossbow or my shield and mace. But I don't think we should. I don't think we should follow them back to their home. I think I think we should probably take them when we can.
I think if we get them by surprise, we have a full round for ourselves. If you are lucky, you can take out at least 1 or 2. If you are lucky, then we have to take our chances because I don't know how many they are. And another thought, Etor is going to be more effective uh, by close range. He can fire bolts because I'm changing his fire by a light crossbow, and I think the same thing we can say about Luther. I think he'll be safe just firing his crossbow. So I think we should try to use the first round if you get by surprise. Then Aether has to get close.
in terms of speed that they're moving along versus the speed we're sort of able to make through the, would we at all be able to go off to one side and get around them and have us come at them from different directions, or is it everything we can do just to keep up with them?
Right now, this is all you guys are talking while you first gain sight of them. I'm still waiting for a decision on what you guys are doing now that you see them. So you don't have a way to judge their speed yet.
Well, I think, what do you guys say? But I think we should close on them and see if it seems like a group that we can take.
I'm a little good in a fight at close range, but I can support you.
My first instinct is to surprise them, try to get the most we can from longer range attacks, then try to close distance to avoid range attacks. That's their strong suit. Then try to get most damage you can on the second round. You see what happens, because if they alone they don't make too much damage, but in great numbers they're going to hurt a lot. So you need to get much you can in the first 2 rounds. Carva, what you have that is the most that gives the most damage?
I think you all need to make a decision right now. You are either moving forward, you are going to try to flank them at normal speed, or you're going to try to stealth behind them and follow them.
I say we attack.
Well,
yeah,
flank,
we think
right?
they're.
Yeah, we flank.
Yeah, if we think they're going back towards a place where there might be more of them, we don't want to wait.
It's going to be tough, guys.
But this is our best chance to get it back.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay. Good luck to us. We flank. I think how long it takes to cast blast?
It only lasts a minute. At least my version of it only lasts a minute.
So let me have you all roll stealth checks at disadvantage.
I don't believe it.
So this is a massive battle map, so you guys will probably have to zoom out to find yourselves, but you are in the northeast quadrant. You guys are approximately 120 feet away from these goblins. They appear to be pushing the sled to the south. As you flank around them, they are able to keep a pretty good pace above you, but you know that essentially you are moving slightly faster than they are while they are pushing this thing. So while you all are seemingly keeping them at unawares, you are effectively at this point, we are going to have you all in initiative where you can decide on what you'd like to do. But effectively right now, it seems like you guys have the jump on these creatures. So, what would you like to do?
Are we rolling initiative?
Effectively, yes. I'd like you inside of initiative, because this is where, at any given point, you guys are going to get noticed, and at this point, you guys are close enough that they are also moving on their turns.
Say the word. I think I can just about reach them from here. If we want to open this up.
With what? What we have that can hit them?
Bit of a fire.
Firebolt?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that your character would know like the spell names, but yeah.
No, I'm talking out character. On character, you say you Hector, do you think you can hit them from them? Do you think you would be gonna hurt them? Maybe you could get a bit closer to be more effective.
For what it's worth, I am a sharpshooter and I have a crossbow, which has a range of, well, 8320. So, and we're what, about 130, I think he said?
Well, I think part of sharpshooter is those you ignore the long range, so you just have 320.
Yeah, I think so, right? But the range is about 120. Is that what you said? These are 5-foot squares. Is that it?
Yeah, you guys can measure, but yes, the range is right about 120.
I have a light crossbow. I can fire from this distance too, but I have disadvantage. We can also cast. I can cast a Shield of Faith on myself or in someone else. How about it? I can cast.
You guys need to make a decision. Do something.
Just a question is Hector turns to Carva. Do you have means to protect yourself?
I've got a bit of magical protection.
How about you, Luther?
I can protect one of us and bless the rest.
You guys just lost a turn.
Let's move out.
Yeah, I think we should just go after them now.
So, as you guys are moving, what are you doing there?
Carva, fire. Let's start this dance.
Okay, and then yeah, with that, I'll prepare to cast a firebolt at the. I think there's one goblin in range. I'll wait for initiative, obviously, but
I think it's going to Luther to act first. Oh, no, never mind. It's Ether. No, shit, damn it. It's Carvath. So if you were dropping a fireball, go for it. Or a firebolt, rather.
bolt. Yeah, at the this one to the right of the cart.
It's not a critical, right? Yes.
No. Critical would be 25 because I got a +5 to hit. So
Right. It's a dirt 20.
You hit and kill him.
Great start.
What are you doing, Byron?
Hector. Let's.
You gotta change the name because I'm reading it right now. So You just have to go into your cog in the top right and change it to Etor. Oh wait, no, that's actually under your character.
No, I changed everything. I
For
changed
now,
it.
it's just for now. We
I-
know when he says Byron, he means.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, just I'm trying to not deal with the fact that if I say the wrong name, it's still you.
Okay, I'm going to fire my light crossbow at this guy. I don't know
This
why.
guy doesn't work for me. I need.
Because I'm trying to ping. I can't ping. It's the second man, the first man at the right here. I can ping.
So like northwest.
Yes, this. Why I can't ping?
Northwest works for me.
Yes, okay. I don't know why it's not working for me now.
That torch is on the east side.
So you mean you're going for the one below the one that I killed, or to the left of him?
Yes, this.
That's okay. The easternmost guy. Take your shot. At disadvantage. Solid hit, and it is going to kill him. And Luther.
Is the fellow that is southeasternmost visible to me, or is he protected by the wagon?
I mean, at that point, all of them are protected by the wagon.
In that case, And have we already moved this round, or was that the previous round?
This is your round, so if you moved, you moved.
Yeah, I assume that 30 feet we moved was part of this turn.
Okay. So I don't have a view of any goblin or whatever of any enemy.
No, they're all behind cover. It doesn't mean that you can't see them.
Okay. I fire at.
Oh yeah,
That
cover
one.
doesn't even matter for you. You've got a sharpshooter, man. Just take the shot. The western one, northwest. It's just a straight shot for you.
Yeah, northwest, I think.
Solid hit. He does remain standing.
Was a good start, guys.
How long is 1 minute versus a combat round?
10 rounds.
If I recall, every round is 6 seconds.
10 rounds. I already said it.
I'm just confirming. I'm sorry.
So as they push the cart forward, they start to notice as there's an explosion of fire. 2 bolts rain down into a few of them, and you hear probably a little bit of goblinoid as they yell out behind us. And you are going to see as three of the goblins seem to disappear from view. What is Ethor's dexterity? 14?
Yes.
So 2 of them are going to pop out from behind the cover as they take their shots. Number 2 is going to be at Ethor. And each of them will be shooting at disadvantage, but they are coming from hiding, which is advantage. They'll have straight shots on you. So the first one will have a 12 to hit, should be a miss. Second one will have a 9 to hit, should be a miss. and each of them is going to try to hide with their bonus. And those two also will disappear from view again. Onto you, Carvath. You are able to spot one in the southeast corner of the wagon right now.
Okay, so I'm going to charge forward to get into range and launch another firebolt at the one that I can still see. Let me just double check I'm close enough.
Solid hit on him, though he still remains standing after the fire burns him.
Okay, I'm just going to move the rest of my movement, and that's my turn.
And I believe Ethor is next.
So I'm gonna move here. Gonna fire my crossbow. The advantage.
Yep, you should still be disadvantaged for range.
No. Miss.
Bolt's gonna fly wide as it just misses the wagon and the goblins entirely.
Yeah, I think this is it. This is it. I can bonus action. I want to cast Shield of Faith on myself.
Another of the goblins is going to poke out from hiding to take a shot. Giving himself advantage, he will take the disadvantage, have a straight shot, and he is aiming at Etor. 12 is going to be a miss, and he's going to try to hide with his bonus. The next goblin is going to take a shot. This one will be at disadvantage, and he is aiming at Carvath on that one. Oh, it should be Etor. Etor again, disadvantaged. A 12 is going to be a miss. And he's going to try to hide. Alrighty, so this one is going to be hiding. Technically, two of you can still see it. Etor and Luthor. Your passives are higher than his ability to hide in front of you right now. And it's going to go to Luthor.
I'm gonna move forward. And take a shot with the crossbow.
Solid hit. Will leave him severely wounded. Going for any bonus actions? Are you done?
Oh, hold on a second. Yeah, I'm done.
Alrighty, so the first of these is going to take a shot at Etor. The second is shooting at Carvath with advantage and disadvantage. They will both be straight shots. So Etor, Carvath, 17 to hit Etor.
Miss because of the miss.
So it's deflecting off the magic. A 22 should hit Carvath. And
Yep.
it is going to do 6 piercing damage to you. Let's see. And the first of them, as he tries to hide, will be visible to everybody. The second one successfully hides. And it will be on Carvath.
All right, so Carvath's going to sort of like let out a grunt of pain as the arrow digs into him, and he's going to retaliate by launching another firebolt at the goblin that he attacked before, just south of the cart there.
That's the one he's actually hidden from you in particular.
Oh, okay.
He got a 12 to hide. You've got an 11 passive.
Okay, so he's going to move over this way. He's going to try to hit the only other one he can see, even though I assume he's got some cover.
Yeah, effectively, they all have cover right now. A solid hit. I don't know his total offhand. Give me a second to bring that up, because he's pretty... Oh, wrong. He is bloodied with that shot. And realistically, you guys are too far away to really get that information. Any bonus action from you?
Nope, I've got no bonus actions.
Going to Etor.
I move all my movements. I think here is okay. Gonna try to fire my arrow on this one. My bolt. Disadvantage yet?
Why would you have advantage?
Disadvantage, I ask it. I still
80
have.
feet? Yep, you're still in disadvantage.
Okay.
It's like halfway down the little toggles. It looks like a ruler. I prefer going to the nose snapping. And then personally, I tend to hide it from others, but there's show to others as well. But snap to center just finds the center of squares. Snap to corner. I don't think snap to corner really serves too much purpose. But I like the nose snapping, and then I try to measure from the center of cubes to actually get distances. Let's see. No, with the 13, you are going to ping off of the cart as he moves out of the way, like at the last moment, and you put it into the cart. Alrighty, so I think we are going to go for... the first one is going to pop out, take a shot at Etor. Disadvantage, advantage. Gonna put him at a straight. A 13 will miss. And then the one on the southeast side is gonna shoot at Carvath, and he's gonna get the same disadvantage, advantage, and will miss as he shoots wide. And each of them are gonna try to hide. Both of them roll in 20s. What the fuck? And it's gonna go to Luther.
First, I'm going to move. And then I'm going to throw Bless, and I believe both are within 30 feet of me.
Looks good.
And then for bonus, yeah, for bonus, I'm going to throw Healing Word on Carvath.
Can you cast 2 spells?
Not as I don't think so. Not as my bonus. Can I cast a spell and then cast another spell as a bonus? I don't know.
No, you can't. You can cast like a cantrip and the healing word, but you can't do healing word after the blessed.
Okie dokie. Then no bonus action. Sorry about that, Carvath.
No worries. Nope.
Let's see. It's going to go to the goblins. One is popping out. So the first one's going at Luther. The second one, drop my die. Second one is going at who's done the most damage? I think it's still Carvath. Second one's going at Carvath again. And so the second one will be disadvantage. The first one at Luthor is just a straight big ol' miss, and then second one at Carvath. Oh
Ooh.
shit! Double 20s twice in a row like that.
That might knock
so
me down.
Gonna get a crit, doing 10, 12 damage piercing.
Yep, I'm down.
No shield. Oh wait, never mind. A crit's auto hitting regardless.
Yeah, and I don't
So
have
we can
shield
even
as
ask
a.
that.
And they
Uh,
and Bless didn't help.
No, bless is more for you guys attacking.
It's event rolls. It doesn't work in attacks.
Yeah, it doesn't have like any AC or anything like that. And it doesn't matter because it's a crit anyway.
Giving him the word next round. It'll be okay.
So the first one's gonna hide successfully. The second one hides from Carvath, so effectively does not hide. And it's going to go to Carvath for a death saving throw.
Nice.
And then to Itor.
Gonna fire my light bolt. Let me see. I still have a disadvantage.
Yeah, I believe that's a straight shot at that point.
Okay. Never mind.
Big ol' miss with a little bit of a slip as you move forward.
I forgot to roll d4. It's a critical, then doesn't matter.
Rolling for what?
The bless.
Yeah, bless can't help you with a nat one. Nat one's an auto miss.
I got myself with. Doesn't matter.
First one's going at Itor. Second one's going at Luthor. Both of these are going. Well, let's see. The first one is going to be advantage at Itor. A 20 should hit. And
Yeah, it's 20 is it's the DC. Yeah, what it hits that?
20 hits you, and it's going to do 4 piercing damage to you.
Okay.
And I need a Constitution saving throw from you. And then Luthor, this one's just going to be a straight shot, and it's going to miss.
Constitution saving throw.
You successfully hold the concentration, and it's going to go to Luthor.
Okay, so I just want to understand here. So I can take healing word as a bonus action. So does that mean that I can cast can I cast a healing word and fire my crossbow? Yeah, I just want to be clear on
It's
that.
only with spell slots, essentially, yes. You can cast
Okay.
Healing Word, and then you can cast a cantrip, or you can cast Healing Word, and then you can shoot a arrow. But the thing is casting a spell takes a lot more effort than doing other things. And that's
Okay.
where the difference happens.
Okay, so I am going to cast healing word on Carvath and also fire my crossbow at that one.
Eastern?
Yes.
Excellent. That will be a solid strike.
You got 10 hit points, Carvath. You're up.
Thank you very much.
And then can I actually move on top of that?
Yes, you can.
All right, that's it for me.
All right, so first one's going to take a straight shot at Etor. Actually, no, he's going to try to hide. Yes, excellent. So he's going to take an advantage shot at Etor and break his hiding. A 15 to hit. I believe that will be a miss. And then the second one is going to take a disadvantage shot at Luthor for a straight shot. With a nat 20, it is going to do 4 piercing damage to you. And I need a Constitution saving throw. You maintain concentration. And he also does a terrible job hiding. It's going to go to Carveth. You are on the ground. Anything that you were holding, you have dropped on the ground. So, assuming you have a spell focus in hand, you have to use a free action to pick it up and half your movement to stand up.
Okay, yeah. So I would grab the orb and stand up. Are any of these visible to me, or are they still hidden from me?
Yeah, essentially right now, if they are shown up on your screens, you guys can see that guy. And then the only ones that it's mattered where they like roll between player passive perceptions, I've put the ninja thing on them. So those 3 guys are all visible right now. One of them took a shot, like hid, so he could actually gain advantage because he's pretty weak. Another one just did a really terrible job hiding. And then the other one, I think 2 of them did terrible jobs hiding, actually.
Okay, but we're too far at this point for me to recognize which one is hurt, right?
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, you guys need to move closer than basically 100 feet away to actually be able to see the bloodied condition.
Yeah,
I'm-
makes sense.
I'm at 8 feet. I can see at 8 feet.
I don't think 80 feet is close enough. That's why I said basically 100 feet away.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you.
I think if you guys are in combat with them, you can see bloodied conditions. But when it's just a ranged battle, right now you guys are just in a pitched battle, basically lobbing arrows.
Yeah, so at this point, yeah, so I grab the orb, stand up, and kind of I'm gonna angrily fire off a magic missile at this top one next to the cart here, the most northern one.
Dirty girl. I've never actually paid attention to magic missiles range.
Yeah, 120 feet.
Make sure it doesn't roll or it doesn't take the actual spell slot multiple times. But if you're casting that at first level, click the spell 3 times so it rolls for 3 different missiles. And then also roll a d20 for me. Just need a 1. So yeah, and you're doing all of it into the same goblin.
Yeah, because I don't know how hurt he is, so I just want to make sure that one's toast if I can.
That goblin does indeed die as the missiles smack right into his body.
You turn into his smoke.
All right, and that's my turn.
And it's going to go to Etor.
Move here. Fire my crossbow to this one.
At the eastern one, make the shot. Solid hit. And that's going to kill him. If there's nothing else, it's going to a goblin. He's going to try to stealth. Just high enough, I think, that he's going to disappear from view. So I'm switching the technique. He actually has the ninja because you guys cannot see him right now. I should have done that differently. He could have taken a shot. So he's going to actually take the dodge action. No, he's going to run. And then his little buddy is going to pop out and take a shot at Etor at advantage. 21 should hit.
Yes.
And he's going to do 8 piercing damage to you. And another Constitution saving throw. And then he's going to try to bonus action hide, which he does stupendously. You maintain concentration. And he too is going to run away. And it's going to go to Luthor.
Can I see him or not?
Nope, you guys cannot see any of the goblins at this point. As far as you know, though, they are still holding that position behind the actual cart.
Right. So I think Luthor would do the reaction shot. So he'd use his action to be a reaction and he'd fire at anything that came out of the that popped up.
Gotcha.
You-
Okay. Carvath, what are you doing?
So Carvath's going to start moving towards the cart, but not being able to, not sort of warily, and he's going to take the dodge action as he starts getting closer to it.
Etor, what are you doing?
I'm going to put lay your hands on me. Put all 10 hit points on myself.
Any bonus?
No, I just gonna move.
Did you keep the same languages on Etor?
No, I changed it, but I don't have goblin.
Gotcha. So you guys are going to hear a little bit of a commotion. Let's actually see how close Etor got to the...
I didn't move yet, so I'm gonna move to the cart. I'm close enough to get to get. That's as far as I can go.
Alright, I don't want to stop in the middle of this, so if everybody is good to continue on, I need to go to the restroom right now. So can we take a short break here and finish this up? It'll have like a little bit, and we'll have you guys kind of at the end of this encounter.
Yeah,
Sure,
Sounds great.
works for me.
I'm gonna stay here, but go ahead.
Yeah. As long as, like, if anybody comes back, as soon as we're all back, we can jump back into it as quick as possible.
Guys, good work. Anyway, both of you. It was good work.
I didn't know combat could go this way.
We got lucky, but our roles worked. Yeah, like I said, our first round worked fine because we killed two in the first round when they were surprised. Then we got lucky in the second. Then it got a lot easier because they had a lot less damage. So thanks to my AC, I could soak the damage a lot. It was great. Only Carvas got unlucky with the critical. First time in 20 years that
Did you take the same shield as you had on Byron?
Yeah.
Do you know that shield is only good for one reaction? Otherwise, it doesn't add AC for you?
In the in the armor class, when you click, it counts as armor class.
Okay, hold on a second. We'll talk about it after the session, but that shield is only good for one reaction that you can use that +2 AC. That shield is purely designed around, it doesn't take anything to pick up and drop, so you can use stuff differently. But picking back up where we are here, as you move forward to the cart, you are going to see that these goblins were nearly to a very large wagon that is currently being driven by 2 polar bears and a couple of other goblins that are kind of around it. And I think their initial response at this point is going to be kind of a yelled out little bit in common. You're going to hear a voice that kind of yells out, "Why are you stealing our treasure?"
It's not yours to take. Please come out. Let's talk. Let's stop the killing.
We found it. It's our treasure.
You found it, but it has a owner.
Well, you can pay us for it then.
No, it's not ours to. There is a dirty body someone died defending. You can't take something that is not yours. You call it yours. That's called theft.
What are you guys doing while he does this?
When the goblin calls out that we can pay for it, Carvat's going to. We might be able to buy it from you. I've got a bit of coin on me.
Etor raise his hands. Listen, do you still have people wounded? Do you guys need a blanket? We don't need to keep hostilities. This is not yours, but we don't need to kill each other because of it. This need to go to the rightful owner. If you want.
All right, hold up. You've got to slow down on just going on long rants because you have 6 seconds before these things move again. So I have to go back to Luthor. Are you doing anything to the first part of this conversation?
No, I think I'm probably reloading my crossbow.
Okay, so as he continues on talking about these things that a paladin does, they are moving closer again. So now you can continue on. You have 6 seconds, Ethor, before I'm moving again.
Please stop. Let's talk.
You killed our people! Pay us! Or give us our treasure back! We found it in the tundra!
Carvaf, do you want to talk about the money? You think you talk.
We'll give you good coin for it. And he'll if he sees he'll just that's what he'll say. And kind of hold up his hands in a to show that they appear empty. He's not holding a weapon.
Bring us the coin! How much coin? The cart weighs a lot!
The Carvat he'll start moving closer a little bit. And he'll say, I can give you 100 copper. That's a lot for all of you. And then you don't have to lug this heavy thing around.
Advantage. Bring it forward.
Why don't you send your leader? We'll meet in the middle.
The whole wagon's moving.
Okay. Okay. So Carvath will start moving forward. He'll kind of give a glance back towards the others and just move forward towards them.
Etor stops here. He looks at them. What we see?
You see a large wagon, 2 polar bears, and 5 goblins.
Give
me our coin!
Okay, so Carvath he'll start. He's going to kind of try and give these polar bears a bit of a wide berth and kind of circle around towards one of the goblins on the left side of the cart here, and he'll start reaching into his purse. Say, I give you coin, and we take the cart and go. No more fighting. Yes.
You can pay for the cart, and we'll go.
Fair enough.
Just a minute, Carvath. Come here. I want to give this.
One of the polar bears they're going to turn the wagon and they're going to attack you with the polar bear.
No, wait. I'm going to give more money.
Acting shady, walking up behind the wagon.
Shady.
That's where you've got right now. When you move closer to the wagon around the back side of it, they're going to twist the wagon so there are polar bears facing you. This is the same thing that I had a rogue doing last time, where you guys are walking around NPCs. Be careful about flanking, because flanking looks like you're attacking in the same way Luther, moving to the east, looks like somebody who wants to flank an enemy.
I'm not even carrying the weapon in my hands.
Move back! Give me the bag of coins!
Here, two golden coins. I give my golden coins to him.
You said 100!
I never said anything. I said a good coin to you here.
Either hold. Carva's going to try and hold up a hand and let me handle this.
You guys have a limited time to give them these coins before this is going back to hostilities.
Yeah, so
Do you have a bag of coin ready, Carvath?
Yes, I'm pulling out the 100 copper that I promised.
He's going to, as soon as he takes it, he's going to run back on top of the wagon, and the wagon is going to start moving away from you all quite quickly.
Okay, and Carvath, in a show of good faith, is going to back away the other direction, sort of to give that after he hands off the coin.
Etor also backups to stay by the Carvath. What do you give them?
100 copper, just as I promised, the man of my word.
They are so stupid.
I'll give a little wink as he says that.
Yeah, when you say gold, they're like 2 pieces. Fuck that. He offered us 100.
I forgot how stupid they are. Etor, I've been out so long. I forgot how stupid these creatures are. Okay, we survive. Now we need to push that thing back to the city.
Is the caravan? Yeah. Okay. So it's gone now.
Yeah, I accidentally put it on the map layer, which makes it next to impossible to disappear, because it always wants to click the actual map. But yeah, they're going to haul ass as soon as they get the bag of coins, and they are gone.
Okay. Once they're gone, I rejoin the others and ask, well, how much did that cost us? And reach into my own coins to balance things out.
Not as much as you might think.
Etor laughs. I was going to give them 2 gold, but he made a better deal. They gave him 100 copper. They think it was a better deal. Goblins.
Quantity over quality in this case, my friend.
Yeah, math is not the strong suit. So let's start pushing this before they start to notice that they're not that shiny.
It would be nice if we could change locations before night fully falls.
I agree. Let's start pushing this as far as we can from here.
You all are effectively inside of night already with this, so we're going to pick up at this point with you guys trying to get the sled home next session, and basically get this back to the Black Iron Blades. When we kind of continue with that, we should be able to have a more complete Ethor. But you guys now have, what is it? It's like just under 600 pounds of sled right there from the dwarves.
Yeah, imagine it's going to be some slow going back.
A lot of pushing.
But effectively, that 1 gold that you found from that guy's corpse was enough to pay the goblins off.
And no loss.
Yeah, I was hoping I wasn't being too meta by offering just like a lot of coins instead of, gold.
It was brilliant.
Yeah, excellent move.
Yeah, I feel like if there's one creature that is most common that people should have some base knowledge of, goblins are among them. It certainly has a level of meta, because again, I think level 1 characters should basically have no experience in life, aside from basically having fairy tales. But yeah, that's definitely the right way to say it. Have a big number, which realistically, if we weren't already running late, I would have pushed you to see how many coins you're actually putting in that, because you know a goblin can't also count up to 20 or to 100. They just think it's a big number.
She put 30, you said 100.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, all that goblin was going for was a bag that sounds like coins, and it seems heavy enough that there's a lot of coins in it. Other than that, they don't know what the fuck's in there.
All
And
right.
you guys had those goblins running, killing many more goblins. They would have been in a very different attitude, but they were already in a very different attitude. The difference is that those two were able to get back, and they're quite confident when they have the polar bears with them.
Yeah, I imagine those polar bears would have given us a lot of trouble.
If we, I bet that polar bears didn't like to be with the goblins.
Those were definitely not happy polar bears.
I bet if you had some enemy handling, things will be different. Anyway, guys, I have to go, but not bad. I lost a paladin again, another. We win a fight. Not bad for a day.
Yeah, I was just thinking the nice thing about Carvath being a doppelganger is that if he dies, I'm just going to bring the real Carvath back.
Nice idea.
That's just a doppelganger that took on his identity.
Then you'll have to find an actual accent.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, guys. See you guys next week.